Alright, Hangouts should be up and running now. Hello, hello, people in chat. How's your days been? I should open some music. Oh, actually, I don't know if I open music, if you guys will be able to hear it. Because I'm doing this over Hangouts. That might not work, actually. Well, and if I do music, then I'm gonna have stupid copyrights on all the songs when I'm done with the stream, so maybe I won't do music. I'll just talk to you guys while I work. Question, have you ever thought about joining Warriors Amino? I probably would have when it was really big, but I do not have a smartphone or a tablet or anything like that, so I've certainly thought about it, but I just can't. Picking Lemmy says, so can you just do a free royalty program on phone full blast? I don't know what that means. Sorry. Scazzle Skiz must be new around here because they asked, do you read Warrior Cats? If so, who's your favorite cat? Yes, I do read Warrior Cats. Shock and surprise. Dreamsy, I'm sorry, I'm going to be putting you in timeout for the icon spamming. That's unnecessary. You can come back when you decide not to spam stuff. Some favorite Warrior Cats, though. I've always really liked Blue Star. I really liked Crowfeather. He's not as big as high on the list now. If you're reading the new series, Vision of Shadows, I love Hawkwing. I love Needletail and Twigpaw and Violetpaw and Alderheart. I love them all. They're so good. Oh yeah, and Cinderpelt's great. Sofina Gomez, Tennille, question. I always see this Google logo over the upper corner of streams like this. Do you use Google Hangouts or something like that? Yeah, I'm using Google Hangouts right now. Sometimes I use OBS, and if I did, then we could listen to music, but I'm not. So instead, I'm answering your questions. Keitha says, question, who do you think is the most honorable Warrior Cats? Stonefur always comes to mind, because he's awesome, and the way he went was just like, so good. I can say that Cinderpelt is awesome, because she is awesome. She's also a favorite. She's so good. Who is your favorite? Blue Star, Fire Star, Leopard Star, or Snowfur? Out of those, Blue Star. How about Jayfeather? Alderpaw is the perfect complement to Jayfeather, though. Yes, Jayfeather and Alderpaw's dynamic I really like. And you would think that Leafpool and Jayfeather would have a really cool dynamic together, but they kind of don't, because Leafpool doesn't get used very well or very often. But I really like how Alderheart and Jayfeather work off each other. It's really good. Alley Ball, what is the name of your cat persona we see in your videos? Simmy. That's why the series is called Simmy Speaks. Cat Ladyish, how many warrior cats do you own, have read? If it's a main series book, I own it, except for all of the Dawn of the Clan books. I almost have all of them, but not quite. I think I'm missing the last 3 in that arc. But I'll be buying those soon. And then I'm only missing, like, the Ultimate Warriors Guide, Sky Clan and the Stranger series, and all the novella stuff. I don't own any of those. And then there's a few super editions I'm missing, like Yellowfang's Secret, Mothflight's Vision. I think that might be it. I own most of the books. Dark Scarlet, I already am kind of doing a Q&A. I'm answering all these questions here. Just ask your questions. I'll see if I can answer them. I've read Sky Clan and the Stranger, and it was alright. All the manga books are, as far as I'm concerned, they're all okay. I don't think they're anything great, but they're fine. No spoilers for the new books, please. Okay, if people ask stuff about the new books, I might say something, but I'll try and give you guys a little spoiler warning, okay? So if it's anything Vision of Shadows related, I'll be sure to let you guys know. Crunchy Cat, is Tennille your real name? Yes, it is, except with 2 N's there, not 1. Riha Kumar, which Warrior series is your favorite? The original and probably Vision of Shadows so far. Although, from what I've been reading of Dawn of the Clans is also way up there. Really, really good. Scorching Wizard, what's your favorite Narnia book? The Magician's Nephew, of course. Best Narnia book. Favorite warrior cat couple? Brackenfur and Sorreltail. Because they're sweet, and like nobody can argue with how awesome either of those characters are. So you just are like, yep, that is a solid, cute couple. Would ship again. If you were in Warrior Cats, would you be a medicine cat, a warrior leader, or deputy? I mean, you can't really pick to be a leader or deputy. That just kind of happens. But if I had to pick between a warrior or a medicine cat, I would totally be a medicine cat. What is the best way to find your own style? I'm kind of frustrated, says Crunchy Cat. Just keep drawing. I mean, yes, it's something that you find, but it's also something that you just kind of like, you just gotta draw a lot, and then eventually it just kind of happens. You can't really force it. Do you prefer Gray Stripe and Silverstream, Gray Stripe and Millie, Bluefur and Oakheart, or Crowfeather and Moosepool Moor? Oh. I don't know, man. There's pros and cons to every single one of those ships. Gray Silver or Gray Millie. You know, as long as Gray Stripe's happy, I'm happy. I don't have much of an opinion on Silverstream or on Millie, either way. Zephyrix asks, Neil, how has your day been? Yeah, it's been alright. It's been pretty good. I've mostly been working on this and trying to edit a new Simmy Speaks video, and this is for the Simmy Speaks video, so the sooner I get it done, the sooner the video comes out. Jay Feather versus Yellowfang. Who do you like better? That's hard. That's so hard. They're both so sassy. Although Jay Feather hasn't had the, like, if we're just going like original series Yellowfang's so good. But Yellowfang's secret and how she behaves in Omen of the Stars feels so out of character from what I liked about Yellowfang. It's really hard to say. I probably would say Jay Feather then. Do you like Millie more or Daisy? I think Daisy. Daisy's just nice. She's a sweet mom, and she's always there caring for like the kids and stuff. Whereas Millie is only really there caring for her kids, and she cares about kids in general. But I don't know. Millie's kind of got an attitude, and it's not necessarily a good attitude. It's just kind of snobbish, which is why a lot of people don't like her. Do you like Hollyleaf or Stonefur better? Probably Hollyleaf, just because we got to know her more as a character. I mean, Stonefur is awesome and all, but he's only really awesome for like 2 scenes. And other than that, you don't hardly know anything about him. Oh my goodness, you guys are asking so many questions. Elena Dibbs asks, how long have you been drawing animating for? I've been drawing for my whole life. Animating, I did my first animation as a sophomore in high school, so, and I'm 23 now, so several years. Oh my goodness. Who's your favorite leader except Tallstar? Tallstar? No, okay, if I have to pick a different leader. I can tell you who it's not. It's not Bramble Star or Rowan Star. I can tell you that much. Crooked Star is really cool. Man, I was not expecting his Super Edition to be as good as it was, but oh my goodness. Crooked Star's poor baby boy. I love him so much. Tigerheart or Bumblestripe? Tigerheart. He might be a dude bro, but I like him a lot more than Bumblestripe's nice guy routine. What's your opinion on Bramblestar? Man, you would hope that Bramblestar as a character would have grown past his whole insecurities thing, especially when it was time for him to become leader and with how old he is, but he's still the same insecure Brambleclaw that he was all the way back in New Prophecy, which is kind of weird because, especially in the original series, in the Prophecies Begin arc, Bramblepaw doesn't come off as that insecure. It could just be because, like, he's too young to be that insecure, but I don't know. I kind of like the idea of what Bramblepaw was, rather than how Bramble-Claw was in New Prophecy and Power of 3 and Omen of the Stars and Vision of Shadows. Who is your favorite cat in the series Omen of the Stars? If you're talking about, like, probably who you would consider the 5 main characters, Jay Feather, Lion Blaze, Dovewing, Ivy Pool. Why did I say 5? Okay, so 4 main characters. Out of those 4 main characters, the only one I really don't care for that much is Lion Blaze, and it's not even Lion Blaze's fault. And I would go more into it, but you guys will see. You guys will see, because there's a Simmy Speaks coming. It is recorded, and I am editing it right now. That is all about Omen of the Stars, and I talk about the problems, and you guys will just have to wait and see, because I talk about it. Woof. Ivy Pool or Deathwing. I love both of them. They're actually both really good characters. I think Ivy Pool's character arc is done better. And Deathwing is kind of not given enough time to develop her character the way it should, but I like them both. Do you like the series Survivors? I've never read it. I've never read any of the Hunter's other books. Magical Ice Lily. Question, what's your opinion on Dark Tale? Not sure if you've read Shattered Sky. I did. I read it all in one day. It was really good. I see you there, Tuss. What color is Scourge's collar? It's purple, or red, or pink, or whatever color you want to make it. I don't care. Whatever looks best in your character design. That's the correct answer. Sorry. Dark Tale. Dark Tale's a really good villain. And I really like him. He's probably one of the best Warriors villains ever. What is the saddest death in the first arc, and why? Gosh, Blue Star's death really got me back in the day. I would probably have to say that one. Yes, Dark Tale is A+++++. What do I use to animate? I use Toon Boom Harmony. Toon Boom Harmony staged version 10.0, if you want to get really, really specific. Favorite Dawn of the Clans cat? So far, I've only completely read the first book, but Greywing is fantastic. A+, love him. Question, can I draw fan art of Simmy? Of course you can, and I'd love to see it. Feel free to, if you do any fan art, to show it to me. Which of the 3 do you hate the most? Hate is a strong word, but Lion Blaze is not high on my list of characters in general. Magical Isolate question, how do you feel about the whole 1-star and Dark Tale thing? That's a spoiler. I'm not gonna go into it. So if people haven't read Vision of Shadows, they need to read it. What did you use to animate in your first videos? If you're talking about like way back on my channel, if you're like digging through all my old stuff, I used Flash way back in the day. I don't care that much for Flash, but that is totally my preference. It's a perfectly fine program to use, and if it's the program you use, awesome. There's a lot of cool stuff you can do in Flash. For the Warriors movie, would you like an alternative storyline, same, or mix? I think all 3 of those could be good ways to go about it. Like I would like to see all 3 of those. But I only want to see those if they're going to be well done. You know, if they're going, whatever the animation team can put together and it feels like a cohesive, good story, that's the one I want. Needletail and Rain, Needletail and Sparkpelt, or Needletail and Elderheart. Is Needletail and Sparkpelt a thing? I don't think I've ever heard of anybody shipping that. I mean, they barely interact with each other except for that first book, and they hate each other. I'm not really a fan of the whole, you know, two characters who hate each other are actually in love kind of thing. That's... And a warrior cat can be revived. Who do you choose and why? Rippletail, because he died a pointless and stupid death. And I would revive him to make him die in a way that was better serving for the plot. Brackenfur is my favorite character. Do you think Brackenfur should be an elder or deputy? He would have been a cool deputy back in the day, but I think he's a little too old to be a deputy now. So I don't know if he's exactly ready for the Elder's Den quite yet, but I think pretty soon. And it would be cool to see Brackenfur Elder telling stories to the kids and stuff. It'd be precious. Oh my goodness, you guys are asking questions so fast. Okay, I really like this one. Phosphorus Ember. Who are some of your favorite animators? Were you inspired to animate because of them? Yes, and most definitely. Some of my biggest inspirations are Glenn Keane, Andrea Stasia, The Nine Old Men, Milt Cole, Chuck Jones. I just love animation, man. Oh, Great What's It's here. Hey, yo. Apparently, this is a Q&A stream now. Apparently. I haven't done any work since I started this. Okay. Would you rather revive Rainflower or Scourge? I mean, Scourge was a bad cat who did terrible things. Rainflower was just kind of a terrible mom, but otherwise a good warrior, so it'd be Rainflower. Who's your favorite she-cat? There's a lot of them. Squirrelflight, Sandstorm, Twigpaw, Violetpaw, Needletail. What do you think of Firestar? Does he ever get annoying? Firestar is only annoying when in later books, besides the original books, where he's used poorly for plot reasons. And I think you guys can kind of glean what I mean from that. Oh, please get to the backgrounds. I know, but people are asking me questions. At what age did you start to take art seriously? I don't know, Crunchy Art or Crunchy Cat, because I've always kind of been serious about art, but like I probably didn't get really serious about it until I was in high school. Darkwing, if something like that were ever to happen, I would magically save both of them. Because if I can't be denied to answer your question, then I can save both. Should Firestar have continued to be the main cat in the later series, or was it okay to shift to Brambleclaw? Oh, it was a good call to shift to other characters. In fact, I would have preferred it if they shifted to other clans. too, and maybe even still have a character in the ThunderClan like Brambleclaw, but I mean, it was definitely time to retire Firestar as main character. He reached the end of his arc, so there's no reason for him to continue being a main character. But he was still a great leader. Do you think that Broken Star or Tiger Star was more evil? Broken Star. I think Tiger Star was just, like, he obviously did horrible things, but Broken Star, had he been let to, like, continue his evil rampage, he probably would have done a lot worse things than Tiger Star. Like, Tiger Star, I feel like if he had accomplished his goals, he probably would have eventually kind of mellowed out until somebody came up and killed him and then, like, continued his whole regime. So I don't know. What do you think of Fern Cloud? A+ mom. She's good. Does anyone know what happened to Hazel Stripe? Hazel Stripe's the sister to Mole Whisker, right? They died, I think. I don't remember how. I think it was Green Cough. That Green Cough's good for killing off background characters. If you were Bramblestar and you had to decide the new deputy, who would you decide? I think Hollyleaf. If Hollyleaf wasn't killed in Omen of the Stars, she would have been deputy. I don't think Bramblestar would have picked anybody but Squirrelflight, and I'm glad he picked Squirrelflight. She's a great deputy. But yeah, I totally would have picked Hollyleaf too. Is there ever a point where you're unhappy with your art and your art style? Oh yeah, all the time. Everybody feels that. You just, I saw a cool graph on Tumblr the other day where it was like, actually, I have a visual thing I can show you because, you know, I'm supposed to be drawing. But it was saying that your art level kind of does this as you grow, and you know, you get better here, and then your art kind of stagnates where you have like a little bit of growth, and then your eyes start to see that, you know, you aren't growing, and so you're like, my art's so terrible, I'm not going anywhere, and then like you make a huge another leap, and then like the same thing happens over and over and over again. And that's very true. Like, everybody goes through that. I saw somebody there asked, what would your warrior name be? And I'm just going to assume you're talking about Simmy. So if Simmy had a warrior name, it would be Mudfreckle, because I think that's cute. And she would be a medicine cat in Wind Clan, of course. Do you think Blue Star or Firestar was a better leader? Firestar. I mean, Blue Star's cool, but she had problems. Firestar is like a more rounded individual, and he did a lot of great things for the clans. Would you be mad at Hunters if they let Spotted Leaf live and she'd gotten together with Fireheart and had broken the warrior code? Nah. I mean, that might even be more interesting than what she ended up being. Because as it stands, she's a dead cat we know hardly anything about, you know, until this whole Spotted Leaf's heart thing came out. And she's just not very interesting. Whereas if that had happened, she might have been a more interesting character, and it would have been the first time we've seen like that medicine cat forbidden romance thing. So that could have been fine. Opinion on Goosefeather? He's weird and creepy, and he has a novella that I really need to read because he really interests me. How do you think Vision of Shadows is coming along? I think it's coming along fantastically. I love Vision of Shadows. I think it's so good. And if any of you guys haven't read it yet, seriously consider it, because it's just, it's good. It's good. It's so good. Oh, are you reading his novella now? Is it good? There's a lot of the novellas I want to read, and a lot of them I don't want to read. What member of Blue Star's family do you like the most? White Storm. 1 star, Rowan Star. 1 star. Even though he's a pain in the butt, I still like him more. And I don't hate Rowan Star either. He's just like a bad leader. IMO. Opinions on art tracing and copying. Don't copy and trace, kids. It's okay to like trace when you're really young and like you're first starting art. Like everybody does that. But don't post it online and claim it's yours. And don't copy people's art. Like you can emulate stuff like here for this background I'm doing. Like I'm looking at a frame from Disney's Robin Hood, and there's like times where I'm like, okay, like what color did they use here? They used a color like this. Okay, well, I really kind of like that color. Oh, and I kind of like this color. I think I want it to be like a bit more like this or something. And then I'm just like, okay, well, now I'll do my own thing over here. But there's a big difference between that and going like, this is mine now. I've been hearing more and more about Wings of Fire. I ought to give that a chance. No offense, but why is your mic so shitty and echoey? Well, for one, I don't have my normal mic plugged in. It's just my regular thing. It's whatever mic's in my computer, which, yeah, probably isn't that great. And secondly, I'm in a basement, so it echoes. And thirdly, my computer sounds like a vacuum, so even if I had my nice mic plugged in, it would sound like so. I mean, I'm in a lose-lose-lose situation here. Would you mind if I trace some of your art? I would mind. I'd prefer if you not. I'd love to see what you can draw, but I already know what I can draw, so I don't need to see you copy that. Capiche? Opinion on Crystal Flight. I wish I had one. He's really bland. We don't know much about him. I'd like to see more of him and get more of an idea of his personality. And I just finished rereading Home of the Stars, so I feel like I should have some kind of idea on what his personality is, but I don't. Do you ever watch Aaron Blaze's live streams? I do, and he's actually answered my questions a couple of times, and it makes me so happy. He'd be another animator I definitely look up to. Tennille, what do you think of the entire thing with Jay Feather and the old cat in the cave with the stick and all that? Narratively, it doesn't add much to the story. In fact, I think it takes away a lot from what Jay Feather coulda, shoulda, woulda been. That whole thing is great for like, haha, funny jokes about Jay Feathers and sticks, but like, really, that's all it's good for because it's not, doesn't add much to the story narrative-wise. Otter Girl, can you answer this question and notice me? Yes? What's your favorite book series other than Warriors? Probably Harry Potter. I know that's like, whoa, what? But it's true. Are you ever going to finish the Starclan Cats Villains project? Just wondering. That's an excellent question. I'd love to finish it, but I'm kind of at this weird point with it where it's like, okay, if I spend all this time working on this video, I can post it and then not make any money off of it because it has a copyrighted song in it. And I know that might sound bad to you guys, but like, I've got to make money somehow. And I don't know, there's a lot of work to put into that video before it's done. And I've got a lot of projects to do. So if I can finish it, I definitely will. But no promises. Question, who's your favorite medicine cat who is currently alive? Okay, well that leaves me with Jayfeather, Elderheart, Leafpool, Puddleshine. Oh my god. Puddleshine's really adorable. I like him a lot. And to be honest, a lot of that has to do because I really like my own art design of Puddleshine. There's Crestleflight. Crestleflight I don't think has an apprentice yet. Maybe he does. I'm not. Oh, and Mothwing and Willowpelt. Definitely either. Oh, I don't know. Jayfeather, Alderheart, and Puddleshine are all way up on the list. The Puddle Child, yes. Mothwing is a cool character. I like her in concept, but I just don't like relate to her all that much. I don't know. She doesn't make me like super happy, but she doesn't irritate me either. Mothwing is just kind of like cool, but I don't really care all that much, you know? Mr. Spock, I think that Omen of the Stars, The Power of Three really missed out on some good narrative possibilities. The Urns just had so much built up, but it just led to nothing. I would have loved a better story. Yes. I just wanted to, like, it wasn't a question, but I just wanted to read that comment because that was a good comment. Misty and Ash, would you like Redtail more if he had his own book? Maybe? I mean, we know so little about Redtail that, I mean, it would just have to, if they ever made a book, I would probably read it. I'd be interested in knowing more about him. But I always got the impression that he was just kind of like your basic guy, dude, bro. So, favorite Aaron. I'm bad at this. I know there's some people who are able to like look at the beginning of a chapter and be like, haha, oh, this is totally Cheris writing, or oh, haha, this is totally so-and-so's writing. But I have no idea, so I could not tell you. Out of all the cats, which would you read a novella super edition on? Well, a lot of them, but if I had to put up suggestions for who I think could use a super edition, I would love to see a super edition from Black Star's point of view, because Black Star is a super interesting character, and I don't know if the Urns necessarily intended for him to be a super interesting character, but he is. I'd love. Oh gosh, I almost regret saying this. If they happened to make a super edition about Crowfeather where he actually redeems himself, I would probably like it. But if it was just a super edition about Crowfeather whining and still being his same old self, I would probably be really mad. Oh, Longtail would be a cool book to read, too. Do you feel any different about the Warriors movie now that it's actually going to come out? No, not really. If you like Harry Potter so much, then who's your favorite character? Hermione. I related a lot to Hermione as a kid. And not so much relating to, but I also really like Sirius Black as a character. I even had a dog named Sirius. Which cat do you think is the most Mary Sue in the Warrior series? None of them? I don't really like the term Mary Sue. Like, Mary Sues are definitely a thing, but I don't know. I think the label gets thrown around way too much. And it's not helpful for having like an actual conversation about like narrative worth and stuff. Have you seen Legend of the Guardians? What do you think about it if you have? I've not read those books or watched the movie. I've seen like a ton of bits and pieces of it, and it's absolutely gorgeous. But other than that, I don't really have much of an opinion other than what I've been told by other people. I'm choking on my water. I'm okay. Oh gosh. Oh. I'd feel better if Ashfur was just left alone where he was and not touched on again. I think that's the best they can do for that character for now. Thank you, Tess. I'll try not to die. When I do die, it will be off stream. What are your least favorite parts of the first series and your favorite parts? Oh gosh. Fire and Ice is a boring book. It's not a bad book, but it's just kind of boring compared to the rest of the arc. Um, and obviously this is something they can't change, but like Warriors has come a long way since the first series, and so it'd be cool if the first series didn't have inconsistencies for how they were written now. Like there's a bunch of rules in the first series that aren't rules anymore. It's just kind of like, yeah, that was unnecessary. Would you like a super edition on Dark Tale's backstory? Do you think it would be interesting? A novella in the same kind of idea of like Tiger Star's Fury would probably be okay, but a whole super edition, I don't know. I don't think it's necessary. How do you feel about those people who make warrior OCs with wings, horns, etc.? I don't know. People are allowed to do whatever they want. I mean, obviously that kind of OC wouldn't really fly in a get it fly because we're talking about wings. Wouldn't really fly in a regular Warriors book, but I mean, people are allowed to make OCs however they want. Thornclaw's Patrol should be a novella. It should. I would, oh my gosh, imagine if Thornclaw had some kind of novella or something like that. And he's always been like this quiet, like nice guy background character, you know, kind of like the rough guy when you need a rough guy around or something like that. But what if in his head he is like this super, like the whole novella is like him saying something like, "Cool, I'll get a patrol ready," and like in his head he's like, "Day 1559 of being inside of these trees. I can't I can't take much more. My insides are screaming. All these cats mindlessly going from chore to chore, never knowing how the hierarchy is against them and blah blah blah." It would just be amazing if he was just like this super thoughtful anti-leadership or something like that. He's full of salt. Essentially, yes. I want him to be super salty. I want him to absolutely hate patrols, but he does it anyway. Yeah. What's your favorite bit of Warriors culture? Do you like the gathering ceremonies? I think the gatherings are cool. It's a pretty lame answer, but I don't know, the idea that all the clans have to get together once a month to try and like keep them somewhat friendly with each other. I think the Urins miss the potential with the gatherings a lot because they tend to imply that at gatherings they sit around for like at least an hour and get to chit chat with other clans. But whenever we actually see a gathering in a book, they're like, boop, 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 we're here to gathering. All right, all the leaders speak, and we get kind of mad at each other, and okay, now we gotta leave. Like, they rarely ever actually like sit down and chat with each other, which I think unity. Okay, oh my gosh. I'm gonna actually I'm gonna stop answering questions for a little bit. I'm gonna actually try and paint. Thanks for stopping by, Tuss. Have a good one. Okay. Let's see. Robin Hood, I'm walking through the forest. Someone had such a good time. Lolly, 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 what a day. What a day. I hear a carpet monster. It's just my computer. I'm sorry. It rises. Cry. It's true. I love singing Disney songs. I like singing in general, but I use a drawing tablet to answer someone's question. Hmm. 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 Colors are something I definitely have to work on. Colors are hard, man. I gotta pay. Simmy a ghost? She looks transparent. She's a little transparent for this picture because I wanted to be able to draw behind her, but still have an idea of where she is in the composition. What's your favorite Disney movie? Most of them. You don't know how hard of a time I have picking favorite Disney movies. Hmm. Hmm. She's peeking at you guys. Keeping an eye on you. Making sure you're not causing any trouble. Who's your favorite Disney princess? Tiana from Princess and the Frog. Because hashtag I relate. You have Netflix deal? What do you watch? Sean and I have just recently been watching Futurama because I totally missed out on that back in the day. So we've been catching up and watching Futurama. But I don't typically have a lot of time to watch a lot of things, so I do watch them when I get the chance. Like I, of course, watched Series of Unfortunate Events, and I watched Stranger Things. What was the last movie you watched? Actually, I saw Rogue One just the other night. Actually, last night. Yeah, and that was all right. It wasn't fantastic, but I've never watched Once Upon a Time, but it really does not look like my cup of tea. I'm sure, and I know many others really enjoy it, but I just don't think it's my kind of show. What's your favorite Lion King movie? The Lion King. That's not even a question. The Lion King 2 is alright. How do I feel about Spotted Leaf's heart and the pedo issue? Gosh. Alright, chat, we're getting into this. Okay, so I don't think there's a problem with including that kind of content in children's books, as long as they are portrayed in a way that says that, yo, this is wrong. I think it's perfectly okay to explore that theme. Don't lie to me, we all know Lion King 1.5 is your favorite. No. But I'm totally fine with the hunters having that content in the book, as long as it said that it's like that it's stated clearly that, you know, yo, this is wrong. And from what I can tell, because I haven't read it, guys, is that's how it's portrayed. But I know that it didn't help when Vicky said on Twitter that she was like trying to excuse it, where she was like, you know, oh well, you know, they're cats, so the age thing doesn't matter. Yeah, for cats the age thing doesn't matter, but definitely in Warriors the age thing kind of matters, because Warriors humanizes its characters so much. And I think it's fine when the characters are older, like Blossomfall and Thornclaw. Like, I don't, you know, they aren't my OTP. I don't like hardcore ship them or anything, but I think it's fine. They're two adults, but the fact that Thistleclaw is like creeping after Spotted Leaf while she's still like a kit, and then while she's barely an apprentice, that's all really creepy. Yes, I have read Shattered Sky, and it was really good. That's all I'm really going to say about it for those. That's all I'm going to say about it for now, though, because it's still really new, so a lot of people haven't read it. Unless there's a question I just absolutely have to answer. And then I'll warn everybody that they need to leave so they don't want spoilers. Yeah, other thing, I mean, on one hand, on one hand, Thistleclaw's character was kind of good as it was before Spotted Leaf's heart, where, you know, he was like a guy who really loved his mate, but he was just kind of like fight happy and stuff. And then, but the problem with that is that Thornclaw was in the Dark Forest for really no reason. It didn't make sense for him to be in the Dark Forest. But with the addition of Spotted Leaf's heart, it does make more sense as to why he's there. Because you got to assume that StarClan works on some kind of system where like when a cat dies, someone from StarClan comes to get them. And before we knew what happened in Spotted Leaf's heart, there's no way that you could say that Snowfur wouldn't come and get Thistleclaw. And the Otter thing, I'm sure it could have been handled better. Like I said, I have not read it, so I'm really not the person to be saying like, oh well, you know, it's fine and people are overreacting, or oh no, it's garbage and the hunter should be ashamed. I mean, I haven't read it. I've not heard great things about it, but that would be my 2 cents. Okay. Yeah. Yep, I made you a mom. A mod. Yeah, Dustpelt and Ferncloud are a bit different. Like, yeah, Dustpelt was interested in Ferncloud when she was younger, but she was also uh, like they were much closer in age, and Fernpaw had already been an apprentice for quite a while, so that's really different. You're a mom to all the chat children. Do you read comics? Not a whole lot. There's a few I read, but they're mostly web comics. I read Tracy Butler's Lackadaisy, and I read Black Blood Alliance. There's been a few others, but I'm not thinking of any right now. Before I started this background, I was looking at a whole bunch of Disney backgrounds to like help me get an idea of what to do, which is something I should have been doing for a long time. But for whatever reason, I only just thought of it today. And it's so interesting to come in here and like pick out colors and just like, oh wow, you don't realize how blue it is. Okay. What do you think about Firestar's Quest? Firestar's Quest is okay. Out of all the super editions, it's probably fairly high on the list. I like it more than, like, I don't know, I'd probably put it like Tall Star's Revenge, Crooked Star's Promise, Firestar's Quest. Or wait, no. Tall Star's Revenge, Hawkwing's Journey, Crooked Star's Promise, Firestar's Quest.
It's a Neil. I snuck into your stream.
Oh my gosh, it's a Tom.
Well, all I heard was some super edition names. What's going on?
I was saying like the order in which I like the super editions.
That's a pretty good order. Firestar's Quest
Yeah.
is severely underrated.
Yeah, like it's not great, but it's one of the better ones.
I feel like it's, well, I mean, if it didn't include the Sky Clan part at the end, it'd be a lot better. But
if it was just a story about Firestar and Sandstar's relationship problems.
Oh, it's so good. Like their relationship is like the best part.
Yeah, to be honest, definitely.
Somebody's saying I've not had enough beers. I haven't drunk anything in like 2 months. I want to die.
Speaking of drinking.
Oh yes.
Your guys' review of Fading Echoes, which that's the name of the book, by the way.
Okay, thank you.
Fantastic.
Wait, Fading Echoes?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I want to make it so clear. That was not a joke. I seriously didn't know what the book was called. Like, even when I started it, like literally the day after I started, I texted Selena, and I'm like, "Oh yeah, I'm starting to read Fading Echoes now," or I started to read Long Shadows is what I said, and she's like, "Oh, why are you reading that book?" I'm like, "That, because that's the book we're doing for the book club," and she's like, "That's not the name." Like, oh, oh no, I've made an egregious error. Please help.
I'm already so uninterested.
It was not great.
It's not.
I
It's really
don't
not.
I don't understand how somehow more things of matter happened, and yet it was more boring to me. I really don't know.
Well, I think is it longer than Fourth Apprentice? I feel
I
like
feel
Fourth
like
Apprentice is a fairly short book.
I think they're both 300 pages. I mean, most of the main series books are right at 300 or just below or just
Yeah.
above. But I feel like Fourth Apprentice was bad because the pacing was very spastic. Like it was super slow with nothing happening, and then all of a sudden they just skip logical jumps where it's like you had all that time with where nothing happened. You could just explained it in there. And yeah, in this book,
Oh, wait till you get to the next book. You want to talk about pacing problems?
oh,
Night
pacing problems are
Whispers has
my biggest nightmare. I hate them so much, man.
Night Whispers has the worst pacing in any Warriors book. I swear. It is a book of nothing, and then the last 5 chapters happen, and it's like, like
That's the
it's
worst, dude. That sucks. I'm gonna hate that so much.
like it gets balls to the wall crazy, and then all of a sudden stops.
Oh god. Oh man, I'm gonna so enjoy that.
Look forward to it.
Oh. Also considering I'm still working through Shattered Sky right now, even though it's been spoiled to me a bunch, but that's fine. I expect it at this point. Um, but still reading through Shattered Sky right now. It's so good that I think it's making me hate everything else even more
Right?
because
No, I totally get that.
it's so good. Like they're actually doing everything I possibly could have desired like for them to do in this arc. Like they're actually doing good, impactful things.
Right? No, like Vision of Shadows is so good.
It really is. I know Selena mentioned it after. I don't know if it's in the recording or not, but I know afterwards we talked a little bit and we were both saying like, man, it is so amazingly good. It's I think that they really like were like, oh, those last couple arcs kind of well, excluding Dawn of the Clans, but they probably looked at like the last couple arcs and like, man, those kind of sucked. Let's do something
Mm-hmm.
different, and they
Yeah,
did, and it's good.
and it
And
works.
what's amazing is that like, Thunder and Shadows actually paced really slowly,
Mm-hmm.
but it's consistent. And not only is it slow, it's slow because it's building up this amount of tension that finally at the end of that book snaps and
Yeah.
it just works. Like it works. And yet in like these other books like that I've just been reading recently, the slow pacing is slow and it builds up to nothing. It builds up to anticlimax and it's just kind of disappointing, like and frustrating. So
Right. Yeah, like I know people like I've heard it from numerous people where they're like, "Oh, Apprentice's Quest was okay and Thunder and Shadow was really boring." And I'm just like, "Really?" And then they're saying like, "Oh, but Shattered Sky is so good. I love it." And I'm thinking, "Well, okay, I can see that from the perspective of things are happening, therefore this is good and interesting." But I think there's a lot going on underneath Thunder and Shadow that makes
yeah,
it really interesting.
I mean everything that happens, like any interaction with Needletail unveils like 10 new layers to her character, and I just love it. Like
Yeah.
she's my favorite character they've introduced in a long time. She's just
She's so
written so well. Like she's a person I think pretty much any of us has seen at one point or another. You know, somebody who's like faking it until they make it, and it's just amazing.
yeah.
It's so good. It's
She's so
so
good.
fucking good. I can't wait to be done with Omen of the Stars so I can go on to Dawn of the Clans and experience that.
Yeah, I've got the first 3 books I think to Dawn of the Clans, and the first book was awesome. And I've heard that from most people that the first book is the worst one of the arc. So
Well, that should be fine. I mean, I like anything that's like a change up. Like that's a lot of people really don't like the New Prophecy. I like it because they actually try to do something different, and
yeah,
I can appreciate that. And I don't think that there's anything wrong with Brambleclaw, although I know Moon disagrees wholeheartedly, but I think he's fine. I think it's fine because I liked him in the original arc, like the little bit that you see of him. Him and Firestar's interactions were always really interesting. So, I mean, I'm down with him. So I was down with the characters in that whole arc, and I thought it was fun because like, wow, bad stuff's happening. They're trying to do something new. That's cool. And then yet, you think about like the first arc was 6 books, and that's all in the same forest. The second arc was like destroying the old forest and then going to the new lake. It was the second half, and then they spent 12 more books at the lake, and nothing else crazy happened. You know,
right.
there was so much status quo in there that I'm glad they decided like, yeah, we should probably go do something different.
Yeah, I I'm with you in that I like that they did something different for New Prophecy, but I really wanted them to do more different. Like I felt like it didn't do like I liked the direction they were going, but I wish it was pushed more. That's why New Prophecy is overall disappointing to me because I think it had the potential to be something even better than what it was.
I feel like it went on too long. Like it shouldn't have been 6 books. It should have just been 3 book. You know, don't make it. You don't have to make a full 6 book arc. Just make it a short 3 book arc. You know, have them do the journey, then or have the journey cats go, have them come back, and then have all the clan cats go. There's your 3 books, or at
Mm-hmm.
least somewhat roughly laid out. Obviously there was different stuff that happened in them, but I think that it drug on too long, and the things that happened once they got to the lake was so disjointed from the journey part that it should have just been its whole other arc itself.
Yeah.
But then again, gotta get that money.
Well, yeah, and I mean, they
Gotta,
are
gotta
kind of constrained to that 6 book arc formula.
Yeah, well, that's the
So
other thing is that like at that point they really weren't, They
yeah,
they
back then
they
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 weren't.
they pushed themselves into it, when they didn't need to. I don't know.
Yeah,
It,
they
it's it's
definitely
fine.
could have made it work
It's fine.
more in their favor.
It's
But
fine. It's fine.
you
It's
can't change
probably
it
fine.
now.
What are you gonna do? Hey, everybody, go vote in my poll on Twitter.
What?
I put a poll up on Twitter. You'll see it later.
Okay.
I'm making people vote between what do they prefer the most. The options are poisonous jellyfish hugs, the plague, food poisoning, and the Warriors Wiki. So far, legitimately, 44% of the votes have gone to poisonous jellyfish hugs. Warriors Wiki's at 28, food poisoning's at 17. Good. You
Sounds
guys
about right.
let me down. Oh man. I I don't really want to get too much into that because I'm obviously not in the art side of the community, so I don't really have much to say when it comes to like, oh, what designs are what, and like I'm not big on like the canonicity of words as well. Like I'm not super studied on that stuff, so it's not super important to me. But just like from a little peripheral knowledge I have of it, it's just so dumb. Like how unprofessional what they're doing is.
Yeah, I just don't understand people's obsession with the Warriors Wiki.
Yeah, people treat it like it's like the lore Bible, but
For the
I mean,
series when and yes, while the Urns might sometimes treat it that way, that doesn't mean we have to.
yeah, just because they are tired of keeping up with their own lore and they rely on somebody, Susan, to do it all for them because they're lazy, doesn't mean that we have to.
Right.
There are plenty of and there's a lot, there's a lot of fandoms out there who just basically they're the ones who keep their own lore, because
Yeah.
at this point, the creators have created so much that it's all like mishmashed up in their heads. And so for us who have like only a cursory knowledge of it, while we think we know a lot, think of all the stories that haven't been told that are in these writers' heads. They got enough to think about, and then they got other books here that they wrote.
Oh
For
yeah.
us, it's up to us to keep track of this shit, and the fact that people are letting all these outside influences come in and then change it just because they feel like they know more about things that have never been stated once, that's kind of fucked up. Like, just stick to things that we actually know have happened and have seen ever.
Right.
Like, just put Leah and just put Dawn Mystic in charge of it. That'll be fine. Leah Mystic. Put her in charge of it. Then we'll all be fine.
Right. But no worries.
It's fine. It's totally fine. Also, on your stream, just focus the camera on yourself. Should see
Oh,
my
right.
face popping up.
Boom. There we go. That
Are these
should
for
fix it.
your backgrounds for your videos?
Yes.
Ooh.
Yeah, there's a gray and white version of it.
Man, your redrawed Simmy looks so good. I know you did it a while ago, but it looks so good.
Well, actually, I just finished up the expressions. I have a ton of them. Let's see, where are they? There's like 30.
Jeez, that's good.
But I wanted to make sure I had like a nice big amount of them. Because with my old ones, I always felt like there was expressions I was missing.
The big eyes one.
Yeah. Yep, there it
Yep.
is. Yeah, I love that one. I like this one too because it's so snotty.
One. It looks like every expression I've ever pictured Spencer having ever.
Pretty much. Just, nyeh.
Well, excuse me. In fact, I believe you are wrong. Ooh. Fight mode.
Fight mode's on.
That's so incredulous. That eyebrow.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
There's a couple for Sean because we were Smurfs in that one review.
Oh, that's right. Yep. Oh, that's awesome. Oh man, I still have not watched that video yet because I just don't want anything to do with Smurfs in general.
Oh yeah.
I'll have to get around to it. I really will, but I just, man, all those movies make me so angry in general. Just like they're so pointless. Like, fine, if you want to remake stuff, that's fine. Remake stuff all you want, but don't remake stuff that was shit back in the day. Also,
you know what though? Smurfs movie.
Oh no! Please don't.
I mean, I'm not a fan of the Smurfs, and
Danielle, please don't do this to me.
Dude, it was an okay movie.
God damn it! I knew it. You're one of them.
What?
You're one of them.
One of them what?
You're bleeding blue. I can see it now. You're turning. You're turning into one of them. All your clothes are bleaching white. I can see your essence fading from your body. There she goes. There she goes. Oh no.
Goodbye, everyone. No, I mean, I'm not a fan of the Smurfs, but it was a good movie.
If it's a good movie, that's awesome. There's
I mean,
too
it was
many.
not fantastic by any means, but it was fine.
was it okay? So let me say this. It was
Mhm.
fine with what caveats? Because I'm sure there are some. Like what caveats? Like, is it a fine movie by itself? Is it fine with knowledge beforehand of what Smurfs are? Is it like fine? You know what I mean? Like there
Right.
has to be a caveat here. Please tell me there's a caveat.
Uh, it's fine if you know nothing about the Smurfs.
Okay,
From what I
perfect.
can tell, if you do know stuff about the Smurfs, it's
It's tripling of the
still just
lore.
as good because they have like a few like callbacks to Smurf stuff that I didn't get the joke, but I'm
That's
sure somebody
fine.
out there did.
Uh, Okay, that's good. Yeah, I mean, the biggest problem I have with remakes isn't that they're remaking things that we know of. I think that's fine. I
Hmm.
don't think anything should be so perfectly holy that it cannot be touched and changed and done in a different way. I
Hmm.
feel like everything should be allowed to be remade, but at least make it better or have a reason why you remade it, like
Right.
modernizing something. I guess that's probably why they did it for Smurfs. I mean, the real reason is because they're trying to cash out on this old properties that they still have.
Right.
But I mean, I feel like, as long as they're doing something that's good with it and it's not just like a blatantly obvious cash grab, I'm fine with remakes. I don't have a problem with
Right.
them.
Like the whole Smurfs thing. Smurfs is a franchise that like
It's
it
dead.
was made, it was made to be milked. Like that is
Yep.
the whole purpose for that.
Milk until it's
So
dry like the fucking Sahara.
so when something new comes out for the Smurfs, I'm like, okay, well, you just kind of have to judge it on its own merits.
That's fair.
Um, for something like the live action Disney movies, I hate those, and I hate them because they're like the most unoriginal pieces of garbage that are only uh they're only successful because of the thing that it's remaking.
Now I'm wondering if you've seen this video. It is the video that I still think is the best video Spencer's ever done. His Lion King or not Lion King, Jungle Book movie video.
Yes,
Uh,
that seriously, that is like his best video.
that is by far his best video. And people out there, if you have not seen that video, please, please go watch it. It is his best video. He probably put more work into that than most of his because it required a lot of editing, and it's just so good. Like he,
Hmm.
he, he really nailed it, like perfectly, exactly like how I felt about the movie, you know. Um,
Yeah,
but to your credit, I did go see Beauty and the Beast, because my family's bored and we haven't gone to a movie in 15 years together, so we did. Um, it it's fine, but it's pointless. Like
yeah.
there's nothing that they did that was new or better enough to warrant this remake, you know? They put in like two songs that weren't great and also very much so clash with the tone of everything else. And like the
Hmm.
little changes that they did were like, well, I no, why did you put this in the movie, you know?
Right,
And I'm not even talking about like this stuff where like they put in a gay character. That's whatever. It didn't bother me. I guess some people didn't like
right,
the portrayal. It didn't bother me, but then again, I'm not the person who it would bother in the first place, so I'm not the right person to talk about that. But I
right. Like
mean,
one way or the other, it doesn't mean much to you.
yeah, it doesn't mean anything to me. But it's like it's fine, but there's no point to it. There's no reason why they had to do it. They didn't. That's the main thing that they didn't have to do it. Like, why did they do it? You know,
Right.
whatever.
Yeah, yeah. And see, that's my problem with these too. Is that like I'd totally be down for a Beauty and the Beast remake that was like actually a Beauty and the Beast inspired movie. But
Yeah.
instead, it's just Disney's Beauty and the Beast told again, but in live action.
Yup. Also, maybe you noticed this. Did you watch it actually? I'm not sure. I don't
Yes,
remember.
yes,
You
we
did. Yeah,
went
yeah,
to the
that's right.
theater
Sorry.
and
Yeah, that's
saw
right. You
it.
did watch it. I forgot. I thought you did. I just wanted to
Yep.
make sure. So, uh, did you notice some of the animation errors? Um,
Yes.
okay. There's one that I it was the most horrifying one to me. It was like during the song. It was during the actual like the Beauty and the Beast song, um, where like he's dancing with her. There's a scene where
Mhm.
he a shot in there where he's holding out his arm and she's supposed to be holding his hand, and you can see his hand like clip through hers and jitter around hers like so wildly. It's like, oh, this is so bad. This is so bad. Like the camera does
Oh.
a tiny pan and it just moves just enough that the tracking on his hand gets lost and just moves around a lot. It's like, oh, this is so
Oh.
bad. It's so bad.
I did not notice that one.
It's really bad. Oh, I hated it. It took me out of the movie immediately, and it's like, oh, I can't do it anymore. So then I kept looking out for more errors.
I hated the animation in that movie in general because like all the characters will not fucking stand still.
Oh yeah, I don't like that.
They
They
gotta
need.
be
I mean,
moving around 24/7, and I'm just like, chill, please.
I think that's like the worst thing you could do, especially with the fact that they are animated inanimate objects that aren't supposed to
Well,
move. So the
that and
more
they have
the
such complex designs that like
yeah,
moving them makes them really hard to see.
so they like doubled down on like being super ambitious with this. So if it worked well, awesome. It didn't work well because they just didn't do it right. Like period. Like there's no debate about it. They just didn't do it right because
Hmm.
they took characters that should move stiffly because you're animating something that was 2D and moved a lot in 3D. So you gotta like throw everything out the window. You know, like into your credit, like what you said earlier, they relied too much on what they did before. You know, like we said, they
Hmm.
just need to like throw that out, disregard it, and just go do it in their
Just
own way because you can't. It's so hard to translate 2D into 3D when you have live action because the movement's just so completely different. You can't stretch and squash 3D stuff when you have it in comparison to humans, you know?
right.
Unless you're Who Framed Roger Rabbit, which is like one of the greatest movies ever made, period. But that's besides the point.
Well, yes, of course. I mean,
God,
oh
it's so
god.
good. Yeah, that movie
Yeah, when
fucking sucked, dude.
it was so bad, and so many people in the comments were like, "Ugh, I liked it." And I'm like, "Well, cool,
That's
good for you."
yeah, exactly. We're like, okay, I'm not saying that you're wrong for liking it. I'm just saying I think it's bad,
I think it's
and
garbage.
I think, well, not, yeah, exactly. I don't think it's bad. I think it's fucking repugnant and horrible. And cool. I'm glad you like it, and I'm glad you're happy. You're dumb, but that's besides the point. No, you would never say that because you're too nice. Um,
I would never,
I
ever
would.
call any of my.
I would. It's fine.
That's why I disabled comments for my "Why You Shouldn't Want a Warriors Movie" video.
Do you want to touch on that ever again? I mean, do you feel like there's
I
anything left to
mean,
say about it? How,
man, I
how
don't
about
know.
this?
Like, probably I.
I'll say this for everybody who's wondering. Has your opinion changed at all? Like, do you feel more that way? Do you feel less that way? Still the same? What do you think?
Well, I mean,
Having
I think
seen
it's
all
still.
these, 3D movies recently.
Oh gosh. Well, yeah, no.
Yeah, exactly. Um,
But I mean, there is a way that there is a possibility that they could do a semi decent job. Is it likely? No. Is it still going to have to talk about and try and address all the issues that I brought up in my video? Most definitely.
yeah, that's fair. I definitely feel like people. I'm really glad that you made that video. I'm glad somebody did at least. Because and this is another thing that like I think is just a product of the way that our fandom is with how young it is.
Hmm.
And not young as in like the age of the fandom. I mean the age of like the people in the fandom. Because
Right.
like I mean you think about it, Warriors is fucking pretty old at this point. But the
Yeah.
fact that most of the people in it are anywhere from like heck, 7 years old to like 15 years old is like the majority of them.
Hmm.
And obviously there are older people. I'm not discrediting that. Obviously we're older, and there's a lot of people in the chat right now I know who are older than that. But still, that's like the main bulk of it.
Yeah.
Young people don't know how to temper their expectations. You know, that's just something that we as adults forget because we haven't been kids in that long.
Right.
And so we know what it's like to know that the real world sucks and is shitty. Kids
And
just
is it
assume that
going to make your
everything's
cat movie the way you want it to?
yeah. Kids just assume that everything's gonna be good forever. And to all the people saying their age now in chat, you're fine. I don't care what age you are. You're fine. Um, but anyway, yeah. I don't know. I think it'll. I will enjoy myself no matter what because it's one of those things like I've been waiting for so long. I'm interested to see a full length feature imagination or imagining of this book series that we all love.
Hmm.
Um, Now, when I watch it for the second time, then I'll like have the rose-colored glasses off, and I'll be like, "Oh, this is kind of shitty." But you know what? I'm glad they made something. You know,
Oh, the rose-colored glasses are never going to be on when I watch this.
that's fine.
I
I
am going to be harsh as hell.
that's fine. I definitely will.
But
Go
with
ahead.
that being said, I'm still going to probably enjoy the heck out of it.
Oh yeah, that's the thing. Like I will unabashedly love the movie when I see it for the first time, and when I see it for the second time, I will think about it like, okay, this is just a movie now. Because
Right.
I think that we ah, okay, this gonna sound so high and mighty, and I hate that shit. But I think that like we as like people who have like some ability to like orate and like explain ourselves in a semi-intelligent way owe it
Hmm.
to other people to be like, guys, we like this, but we need to admit that it's kind of shady. You know?
Right.
I feel like somebody's got to say it. Like, with like your video, like why you shouldn't want a movie. It's one of those things that nobody wants to admit, but somebody's got to say it. You know?
Yeah. I mean, yeah, because it's just one of those things where it's like if you spend more than 2 seconds thinking about it, it's like, oh wait, no, there's problems here.
Yeah, there's gonna be some big problems. Um, I
Warriors just
I
doesn't translate very well to a not episodic format.
I know you mentioned it before, and I know a lot of people have actually mentioned it. I think Spencer even mentioned it one time. A lot of people have said this, and I agree with it. I think a miniseries is way more apt
Oh
for
yeah.
how Warriors works, because Warriors is just a whole bunch of smaller stories. Even in the first arc itself, if you think about it, there is the overarching story of like finding out about Tiger Star's betrayal, but inside of that, there's all these smaller stories going on throughout all the books, and there's not quite enough there to really for a single book to make a single movie.
Hmm.
So I think like that would be awesome, or like Walking Dead style, where it's like a 1 hour show, a 40-minute show, whatever. Um, but with a movie, they're gonna have to either, and you've said all this before, the pacing's gonna be so hard to nail down.
Yeah.
And we saw it with the Guardians of Ghoul movie where they slammed 3 or 4 books into one movie, and that wasn't the only problem. There's a lot of other problems with it, but if that happens with Warriors, is gonna suck so fucking bad.
Yeah.
Oh,
Well,
I'm not
I
looking
mean, we
forward to
see
that.
it over and over again with books in general. Books that, should have been series, not movies.
Right? Yeah. I don't know. I feel like, people are definitely buying too much in the fact that David Heyman is on it. Um,
Oh God, don't even get me started.
I'm not saying that he's bad because he's obviously is a talented dude. He made a fucking, well, not made. He produced a really good movie. Um, People need to understand producers don't do quite as much as you think they do. More
Producer
like
don't mean anything.
directors kind of do that stuff mostly, and editors and writers and
Actors and
and
animators.
actors, especially animation house, will be really important. And man, like when I hear the director, that's when I'll like know, ooh, this is really in trouble. Like for sure, like this is really in trouble. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because the director has so much say. Like even realistically, maybe even more so than the writer or the screenwriting team, because the
Oh yeah.
directors are at least, well, depending on how they're gonna structure it, the directors are usually the ones who are there with the voice actors, and they're usually the ones who are there during storyboarding and that kind of stuff, and they basically control everything, you know.
Yeah.
And man, that's gonna be the important one, and people have not mentioned that nearly enough. I'm so terrified for when they announce that.
Yeah.
Here's a good comment. I will be sad is Blackfoot isn't voiced by Will Arnett. So they'll be sad if Blackfoot is not voiced by Will Arnett. Um,
I don't even know who Will Arnett is.
it's a pretty good choice. I'll say that it's a pretty good choice. But man, yeah, just everybody go watch Tennille's video again, and like don't don't have your rage
Don't leave
face
me
on.
comments,
Well,
please.
I mean, don't leave comments at all. Just go and watch it and then leave it on loop for the next hour or so she gets that ad money, and then leave a comment. Um, but man, I feel like I will definitely, like I said, I'll definitely like it the first time I watch it. And I feel like that's not a bad thing. I think people should be allowed to like stuff.
Oh
But
yeah.
they should also know, like, "Eee, not that great, and we deserve better. And I think that's something that we'll probably find out really quickly. Like, we deserve better. But, oh well.
Right. Like you don't you can enjoy something that is bad, but don't settle for bad art.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, especially with how, I mean, a lot of people, and surprisingly, a lot of people in the community like to shit on Warriors a lot. Um, and not how I'm guilty of this as well. I mean, my whole book club thing with Selena is us talking about how much we hate
Home of
Home of
Stars.
Stars.
Yeah.
But I feel like we take for granted just how good the original books are, and not that this will replace or ruin, like permanently damage Warriors. More or less, like if it's bad, it's just gonna be so like soul crushingly disappointing, especially for people like us who have waited almost 15 years for something like this. For it to come out
Right.
and be bad would just like be so horrifically devastating.
Well, and what's really soul crushing for a lot of like people our age is that
People,
we're
you say old people.
no,
At least, at least,
uh,
at least in this fandom, we're old.
right, but for our age of fans is that
Yeah.
you know if it had taken like a few more years, like if they'd waited a few more years, one of us probably would have pitched something to the Errands and to HarperCollins and been like, hey, you know that book series you like to make money on? What if we made it a Netflix show or something like that? And that could have happened, but
Man,
now,
don't
now, man,
even fucking. You're gonna make me cry, dude. That would have been so good.
well,
You're gonna make me fucking cry. Oh god. It's fine. It's not fine. It's not fine. I say it's fine too many times. You know what? I'm putting my foot down. It's not fine. All right. If you think that the worst movie is gonna be good, I'm so glad for you. Please tell me how to live in your happy fantasy perfect world because I really want to go there. Man, it's fucking fuck this. This whole conversation made me sad now. I'm just sad.
I'm sorry, Tom.
It's fine.
It's fine. Just send it all right back where you came from.
Well, I mean, hey, you know, they're gonna make it. It's gonna come
They're gonna
out.
make it either way.
Yeah, they're gonna. Well, probably.
I mean, yeah, they'll probably make it. They might
Probably
get into pre-production and they're like, oh god, all these points that this one YouTuber brought up in this video a year ago were right. We can't make this. Never mind.
You should like add in parentheses to the end of your video title why you shouldn't want a Warriors movie in parentheses, but you should still want a Warriors Netflix series, and then send that to Netflix. I'd be like, hey guys, hey.
Yo, you guys are looking for shows, you know? Get the rights to these cat books.
We know you'll literally do anything because you did 13 Reasons Why, which is not bad, just it's really a bizarre choice because it's a book that's been out for like 10 years. But that's fine.
Well, I mean, they did Series of Unfortunate Events, and I thought that was long dead.
That was a really... that's a long con. Lemony Snicket's been playing it all along. Oh, man. Oh, some people are asking where to send fan art to you.
Twitter, DeviantArt, to my email, sumatrastar@gmail.com.
I'm gonna type that in chat. SIM.
And
right?
I'd love to see it. Yeah. SIM. Yep, you got it right.
Cool. Yeah, now I'm just looking through chat. I mean, is this enough of us bitching about stuff? Probably not, though. I mean, there's so much to complain about, and somebody's got to do it.
Yeah.
I believe somebody Tino should be the voice for Blue Star.
I'd do it.
I feel like you definitely I definitely feel like Blue Star's got your register. Like she definitely has a low register. Somebody
Yeah,
like
it's hard to imagine her with like a very high pitched voice or something like that.
Yeah, I feel like somebody like Meryl Streep would be perfect for that shit.
Oh yeah.
Somebody like that, you know. A lot of people have been. I've seen a lot of people say Idris Elbus for Tiger Star, which I feel like would be good, but I feel like he'd be good at Lionheart.
Yeah.
You know, something like that.
I want Keith David.
Shit.
Tiger Star.
Or
I know. Right?
How about this for Dark Stripe, Tim Curry?
Oh, but that's like.
That would be a hard one. I mean, I feel like it could work, but it would definitely be a little bit weird. Because I mean, he is much older now, but man, I feel like that definitely could work though. Especially with how slimy he can sound.
Oh yeah, I want Tim Curry to just play everyone.
Tim Curry as Yellow Fang.
Yes. Yes. Can you imagine they made her Yellow Fang like some kind of like drag queen or something?
Or here's another equal one. Danny DeVito as Yellow Fang.
Oh. Oh.
Now the real question is okay, so don't crucify me because I'm gonna talk about movies and I don't know about like stars. What is the name of the dude? He was in Guardians of the Galaxy and Jurassic World and Lego Movie.
Oh gosh.
You know who I'm
See,
talking
I know
about.
animators. I don't know stars.
Yeah, that dude's in like every movie ever right now. He's like
Is
super
it?
hot.
Gosh, no, it's not Chris Evans. That's Captain America.
No, Chris Pratt. Thank you, chat.
Chris Pratt. There we go.
So that dude is in literally everything. And
Hmm.
because he's in literally everything right now, I think the question stands: what would he play in Warriors? Because he's got to play something apparently in every movie.
Uh, like, let's just assume they can't really afford for him to be there, but they want to like have the name and the thing, so he'll be Smudge.
Well, here's the other thing though. They've got the China money. They've probably got a lot of money behind this thing, so they could probably afford
I mean, probably, but I need to keep the hope alive that this is going to be some like really shitty, cheap movie.
it. You know,
I don't know. That just makes it better for me.
if it's a
Like,
shitty
I
movie,
can
then
forgive
it
a
would
lot
be
more.
yeah, exactly. If it's a shitty cheap movie, then it would be like, oh, we'll let it slide. It's fine. They didn't have a budget. It's fine. We can forgive them. But it's gonna be big budget, and it's gonna be like, ooh, that's what you did with all that money?
Man, I remember back in the day when people like there was rumors online that there was going to be a Warriors movie,
In like oh
and
08,
huh?
in like oh 08, I remember hearing
Oh
about this.
yeah, whereas like Rihanna as Blue Star,
Yep,
Zac
yep,
Efron
yep. I
as
remember this.
Firestar,
Yeah, I remember
and
this.
my favorite, oh gosh, was it Chris Rock as Gray Stripe?
Oh,
Is that his name?
I
It's the
couldn't
same
remember.
guy who plays Marty the Zebra.
Yeah, it's Chris Rock.
Yeah.
I remember this. I think it's still on IMDb somewhere. You can probably still find it. That is yeah, somebody actually made like a fake IMDb for it and everything. Like it's like, well, I mean,
Dedication.
yeah, you really maybe like maybe like thought consciousness, like group consciousness. You put the thought idea out there. Maybe some people like absorb it into their brains, but man, that would have been pretty bad. Also, uh, I believe it's Ally, but it's spelled Ally, so I'm gonna say Ally. Ally Ball emailed you some fan art.
Oh, thank you. I will check that
Um,
out later.
yep. Um, so it says that they're on Forest of Secrets. If you're on Forest of Secrets, you gotta get ready for some really good stuff coming up, because that's where it really gets good.
Forest of Secrets was like the book that was like, okay, I'm in this now.
I feel like Fire and Ice is probably one of the weaker books because
Yeah,
the first book is so good, and Force of Secrets is also so good. Like it's not bad. Fire is actually really good. I just don't like the whole Silverstream stuff.
yeah,
But it's right in the middle of like the two best books of like, well, I don't know, they're all really good, but it's right in the middle like my two favorite books from that arc.
agreed. Yeah, because like I think all the original books are really good, but Fire and Ice is the one that's like, eh.
Yeah, Fire and Ice is like, well, that's mostly my personal preference. Like, I don't like Silverstream Gray Stripe at all.
Mhm.
I just don't like it. I get that it makes sense. Like, it establishes a consistent trend in Gray Stripe's character, and it's
Of being a
good.
shitty friend.
Yeah, being a shitty friend and being like super into chicks, and definitely not bros before hoes. Like the opposite. Like he's just fucking so flaky. But that's like
Yeah,
him.
like
That's his character.
I used to love Gray Stripe, and then when I reread the original series this last year, I was like, man, Gray Stripe, not as cool as I thought you were, dude.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely a little bit more to be desired, I would say.
Yeah.
Uh, uh, a lot of people here just talking about Forest of Secrets and how good it is. What do you think out of the first arc? And I know this is probably a difficult question, and you know what I'm gonna ask. What out of the first arc, excluding Into the Wild, because I think that's pretty much confirmed for the best book in the whole series. At least
Yeah, I
most people
mean,
seem to agree with that. I mean, if you think about it more like not just like because it's the one that started it, but also because it's just also that good in general. Like
I mean,
a
it's just the most narratively sound.
a
Like,
lot more than you think happens in it too.
yeah,
You know? Um but what of the original arc is your favorite?
probably either A Dangerous Path or The Darkest Hour.
Yeah. Dangerous Path is good, but I think Darkest Hour might be the best for me. Well, that one or Force of Secrets by far.
Yeah, I mean, like Dangerous Path, or not Dangerous Path, Darkest Hour is a roller coaster ride from start to
God,
finish.
it's so fucking. It is like fucking stressful to
It
like
is intense all the way through.
all the people who say that Firestar's a Mary Sue, they must not know what that means, because if you look at like the stress and the emotion that he has during that entire book, he is
Yeah,
such a good character. Like people do not give him nearly enough credit. He is so fucking good, man.
yeah, for a children's like 9 through 12 book, he's amazing.
Yeah, he's a great protagonist because he is flawed as shit. Like I think you can make an argument that Harry Potter is a way more Mary Sue
Mary
than
Sue is kind
Firestar
of
is.
like, yeah.
Like, when has Harry Potter ever done anything that had a consequence until like book 4 and 5? When did he ever do something that had a consequence that actually impacted him for more than like 5 chapters? Like never. And yet Firestar, he brought his like kitty pet nephew into the clan, and so Blue Star's like, well, I mean, I'm gonna assign you to like bullshit tasks around the camp because I can't trust you because you're a dumb shit. Also, now your enemy is like super pissed off at you, and nobody in the camp trusts you when you want everybody to trust you because we don't trust you because you did this stupid shit. Like he actually gets like consequences for his actions. Like
Hmm.
it's so fucking so underrated. Anyway,
No, yeah, I totally agree because Warriors isn't afraid of consequences. In fact, it revels in them.
yeah, I love that. Somebody said here, drawing takes a while, doesn't it, Tennille?
Yes, it does.
That's fair.
This is a background that's going to be in long format videos that you all have to stare at for forever. So
Are you using the Robin Hood one as
the last
reference?
few, mhm.
Okay.
The last few Simmy Speaks backgrounds I did a lot quicker, and you can tell because they look a lot worse.
Tennille, would you ever do a paint tool Sai tip/tutorial video?
Maybe. I don't know. I really don't feel like I'm a terribly good painter. I feel like there's a lot of people out there that you guys can watch be better for that kind of thing. Like when it comes to art tips from me, I can talk to you guys about character design. I can talk to you about animation. Painting, not so much.
All right. Oh, Moon's in the chat. I want Tennille to teach me more about stealing. Shut up, Moon. I'll fight you.
Get in here, Moon. Come argue with us about cats. That's what everyone wants.
I mean, that's what they all want. She keeps saying she wants to fight me, but she's not rose to the challenge yet.
Probably about Omen of the Stars.
Probably. I haven't gotten far enough into it that I feel confident saying that it's all bad yet. Because I mean, I'm only 2 books in. I can't. All right. Hopefully she'll come in. Because I would like to talk about this a little bit with her. Because she's got a complete opinion about it. Because she's read it all, and I obviously haven't.
I read it all.
Yeah. Well. All right. Maybe I'll have some backup. I'll have some backup then.
Hey, there she is.
Hey, what's going on?
Hi.
Hey, okay,
Welcome,
Moon.
Sleepy Moonkitti.
Moon, we need to fight.
Okay, so when I say Dovewing is my favorite character, I mean Dovewing.
Yeah, not Dovepaw. I gotcha.
I think that it kind of goes for all the apprentices and warrior cats, that they're just completely different people before and after they get their shitty name.
Yeah, I feel like the only character that actually ever stayed consistent was probably Firestar, because he was a dumb shit who didn't know about the rules before and after he became a warrior.
Well, he was also the only point of view character.
Yeah.
And it made just everything a lot more manageable.
Yeah, that's also true. I'm still reserving judgment on the arc as a whole because people still say that the final book is really good, and I'm not doubting it. Just the first 2, it's so hard for me to overlook how bad the pacing is, and how ineffectual like half of the book, like for the
I don't
past.
even like those ones so much.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. I'm totally open to it getting better.
Book 4 and on, like.
Oh God, I have to go through another shitty one.
It's
Night Whispers is really bad, but also kind of way better than the first 2. I don't know. It's weird.
So
Fading Echoes is book 2, and
yeah.
Fading Echoes is the I have most of all of the Warrior Cats books in hardcover, and Fading Echoes is the cat book that was destroyed by my cats. So I think that to be said about Fading Echoes.
All right. Well.
You I apologize.
I feel like if the first 2 books on like a scale of like 1 to 10 were like a 2 or like a 1, as long as the next one's like a 4, I'll be fine. I've just had so much frustration reading these books because they're just so hard to get through because they're so boring. I just want something to happen.
There's very little happening.
Yeah.
Oh wait.
Actually, at the end of Fading Echoes, at the end of Fading Echoes, something does happen. Like the Russet Fur dying and Firestar losing a life. At least something happened, but it was so short, and it was like so like that was the only thing that they built up to. Like really, that was really disappointing.
Russet Fur dying was the first thing, like when I was reading a Warrior Cat, where I thought to myself, you know what I really want to do with this? I want to make a shitty video about it and put it on YouTube.
And that's how Moonkitti started.
Yeah. Although I took a 7-year break after that.
And they did something about Barry Nose too, but
Yeah.
you know, somewhere in there. Yeah, I don't know. I really,
I
I'm
thought
looking
it was going to be
forward.
the next big thing, but
And then you decided to go make a pony blog.
no. Shh, shh, shh.
Oh, sorry. Forget that, guys.
They would
We'll just bleep that out.
It had so many thousands of people following it. There was
That's
somebody
crazy.
out there who was both following my pony blog and following. Just oh.
It's okay. We're not going to incriminate you any further. We can stop. Man, I'm so looking forward to Dublin getting better because I mean, you praise her so highly, and you're not exactly like somebody who I think is dumb. Like I respect your opinion, so
Good one.
yeah, like I respect your opinion. So I'm really hoping that she gets a lot better because right now as Dove Paw, she fucking sucks.
I found her to be relatable in how she follows through with her actions, and that's what I like about her. Like she makes a lot of spur of the moment decisions and shit like that, but they're never really decisions I disagree with unless she's going off into the woods and fucking Tiger Heart.
Yeah, that's definitely really fucking just so. It's actually like so bizarrely out of character for her because she's so fucking like patient with everything.
As the books go on, her relationship with Tiger Heart becomes very different, and then she like the thing about Dovewing, and it's not really a good trait or a likable trait, but the thing about Dovewing is that the only person she really gives any shits about at all is Ivypool.
That's awesome though. That's a. I mean, at least she has something because there's so many people in like these fucking books right now who have nothing. It's like please just give them some character at all. Like give them something to care about, please, for the love of God.
That's kind of their thing, though.
Yeah.
Not in the same way that it's the thing between Leafpool and Squirrelflight, who kind of have a magical kind of sisterly relationship,
Yeah.
but it's more so an actual sisterly relationship, in that they're constantly being jealous of each other and having petty disputes, and
They actually feel like sisters, whereas
Yeah,
like
they actually feel like siblings.
Leafpool and Squirrelflight,
Leafpool
you know
and
that they're
Squirrelflight
sisters because they
are like-
constantly tell you.
they're in some kind of weird romantic relationship, which is kind of awkward sometimes. It's okay though, because like I like their closeness. It just feels kind of it's on a kind of different level, because they don't really fight and they don't really have. They're like two halves of the same person sometimes, more so than they are siblings.
And don't take this the wrong way, because I don't mean it as a pun. That's a dirty joke. But they're a little bit too into each other. Like they think that each other are perfect.
Yeah.
And even when they're not,
Gosh,
they're
I've
still
never
like
really
so
thought about it
supportive of each
before,
other.
They really don't have any conflict with each other, do they? They've never
I
argued.
think there's a tiny bit in the second arc when Brambleclaw's having his whole hissy fit about Hawkfrost, and like Leafpool defends him for like a second, and then goes back to like being her friend again, because she's so weak of a person that she can't stand on her own.
The second arc is like so far from me at this point. I haven't read it for years and years and years because I have trouble reading the second arc.
That's fine. I'd give Midnight another chance, honestly. I reread it recently. I don't think it's that bad. But I've never thought the second arc was bad, so that's me. I'm biased to it.
But if I remember correctly, and I don't know if this was in the second arc or if it was in Leafpool's Leafpool. If it was in Leafpool's wish or where it was, but I'm pretty fucking damn sure that the person who chose between Ashfur and Brambleclaw wasn't Squirrelflight, but in fact Leafpool.
What?
Yeah, pretty much.
Is that a thing, dude?
Yes. And everyone's always like, "Oh my gosh, Scrollflight, she's like the Ashford defenders who've gotten on my nerves recently. Like, oh my gosh, Scrollflight, she's such a bitch. She did this to Ashford. She threw him to the side." But it was actually it was entirely Leafpool's decision in a way.
Wow. Okay.
Leafpool wanted Brambleclaw to be the mother of her illegitimate children instead of Ashford. So she made up a prophecy to get rid of him.
Like, I'm pretty sure it was like advice from Leafpool that even caused that breakup. But,
I mean, yeah, pretty much. Because isn't it like at the end of Sunset, Leafpool has a prophecy about two cats walking in the stars, and it's Leafpool and Brambleclaw, or not Leafpool and Brambleclaw, Brambleclaw and Scrollflight.
Leafpool just wanted Brambleclaw's ass.
Yeah.
Trying to share that same
Still
dick.
feeling thirsty.
You know, what's more wholesome than two sisters sharing the same dick? It's, you know, true family values that we can all agree with here.
Little known fact, but Leafpool also tried making up a prophecy to try and get Scrollflight to fuck Crowfeather, but that one didn't turn out so well.
God damn it!
Vicariously.
God damn
Scrollflight.
it! I fucking hate this group. I love you guys. Oh man. The problem with this is that we're all the same age, so we're all like fucking horrible, depraved people, and it's just the best, and I love it.
I was so conservative about the things that I would say before I started working.
Yeah, you know what? Fuck it.
Adults all the time. But I don't know how people with children even like handle themselves.
Oh, I know.
Well,
Because
yeah,
I know
that's
they've been adults and they've been like working and such. And then they have
I guess
children.
you just get used to saying gosh darn diddly dang it all the time.
Whenever I really want to swear when I'm making a video, I just say heck instead.
That's a good choice.
And if you notice, I do that all the god hecking time in the spoil videos, because it's really, really hard not to swear within those.
When I was doing the Fourth Apprentice video for your channel, Moon, I so wanted to swear so often, and I'm like, no, I can't. I gotta keep this PG.
I was so impressed with how good you were on that Moonkitti where people called stream, the Moonkitti calls stream or whatever. You were so fucking on point with that shit. I don't know how you did it. I don't know how you didn't swear during that. I would have fucking died.
I think I did a couple times, but
That's fine.
I think it was like with the older callers who were talking about things that were
More mature.
yeah.
Right. And that's just kind of like a natural human thing, is that you pick up on the way that other people speak to make them more comfortable subconsciously.
Yeah. That kind of stuff is easier to me. I just turn into the people I'm talking to.
That's fine.
Yeah.
That's always been how I've operated too. Like, I tend to be really quiet when I meet people at first, and then, like, as I pick up on their mannerisms, I just kind of copy them.
Yeah, well, I mean, luckily for me, I knew you beforehand, so it was just like, hey, what's up? Let's go watch some shit.
Yeah.
Well, sorry, chat, there was no fight. Moon and I didn't fight, but I promise we will fight eventually. I don't know what we'll fight about, because I think we agree about a lot of things, actually.
I think Ashfur's a good addition to the series.
Well,
I like how he was handled, even though he went to StarClan.
God damn it, Moon. Why the fuck did you have to do this to me right now? I'm gonna be right back. I'm gonna give you a fucking beat. No, shut
Originally reading the series, actually rekindled my interest in Warrior Cats for a while because I was so bored of the villains.
Please, Moon,
I
please
mean,
don't
to
do
be
this
honest,
to me.
though,
God
yeah.
damn, no.
Soul is probably the worst Warrior Cats villain.
Well, Soul didn't do anything that really mattered later on. Like everything he did was super ineffectual.
I feel like Soul is beta Darktail. Like,
For
he's
sure.
Darktail that wasn't allowed to go as far as Darktail. Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Have you read the book?
I have. Tom hasn't finished
I can't say too much here. But
I don't. Well, the book's been out for years, and I've been spoiled on it. I just haven't read it myself, so I know, what happens. I know what's gonna happen. I don't care.
yours is an interesting way to say 1 week.
So sorry. I didn't. Oh, I thought you were talking about Omen of the Stars. I didn't know Shadow of the Sky. Sorry about that.
No.
Yeah, I'm still working on it.
Yeah, but Soul is... I feel like the problem with Power of Three and Omen of the Stars is that the status quo didn't get challenged very much. No matter what happened, the clans stayed the way they were. Not that many cats in power died. There weren't really all that many big changes to the way of life that were kind of what made the original series, and I guess to an extent New Prophecy, a little bit more exciting, because nothing really was happening. This stuff was happening, obviously, but nothing changed. Nothing was lasting. No effects really lingered from book to book besides the cats' personal relationships, which I'm fond of, obviously, but I'm glad they focused so much on characters, but they didn't really focus enough on
what was going on.
Yeah.
Agreed. It's actually something a big talking point in my upcoming Omen of the Stars video, is the lack of change. Essentially the lack of stakes.
Yeah.
Is that Omen of the Stars doesn't have enough stakes
for
you to really care about what's going on.
So slow. It's so fucking ungodly slow. From the beginning of Fourth Apprentice until the end of, still don't remember the name. You said it 3 times during the stream. I can't remember the name of it, but I'm not, whatever.
Fading Echoes.
Fading Echoes. I love Echoes, man. They're so good. Anyway.
Fading.
Oh, that sucks. Are they incorporeal, or are they just ethereal? Could I still eat them?
You can eat them, but there's not much mass left. Your teeth will sink through and it will be unsatisfying.
Now, here's the more important point. Could I still put syrup on it?
Probably, but you'd probably also get syrup everywhere else because they're not that solid.
Okay, so this would be in addition to other breakfast items. All right, this is good. Anyway, so fading Echoes. Yeah, from the beginning of For the Apprentice to there, all that really happens is it's oh, Dark Forest is doing something. We don't know what, but it's something. And then Firestar lost a life. That's it.
He deserved it.
Well, that's fair. I mean, what? What? Actually, no. You know what? I super agree with you. Because why the fuck would he ever listen to Ivy Paw?
Yeah.
Cause okay, fair. He listened to an apprentice, but when he listened to Dovepaw had the backing and support of Jay Feather and Lion Blaze right there, agreeing with her, saying you should listen to what she's saying. Ivy Paw just rolled in and she's like, Phil Johnson just told me this thing in a dream, and you should listen to me.
Okay, consider. I'm gonna be the Ivy Paw defense squad here, okay?
Please don't.
At this point, Firestar doesn't really know about Dovewing, does he?
He knows.
Yes, he does.
He does know. Yeah.
Oh, he already knows at that point?
Yeah, I think so. I don't think he knows specifically, but I know that Jay Feather or Lion Blaze, one of the two, told him that she's part of the 3.
right.
Yeah, no, he knows about the prophecy because he has a conversation with Lion Blaze and Jay Feather earlier,
Yeah.
and then they figure out together that Dovewing is one of them.
Yeah, and that's what drives Ivy Paw and Doveling further apart. Or
Was this
Dovepaw.
before or after the plot point of the fourth cat was introduced?
Before. I've
Before
not
the
even
fourth
gotten
cat,
Okay.
cat is not introduced until the end of Sign of the Moon.
All right, then I can't defend this. But okay, but here, I fucking hate the fourth cat thing. Like, I like the drama that it brought up. I like the stupid arc where Dovewing is just trying so fucking hard to convince everyone that Ivypool is the fourth cat. Like, even though she knows it's bullshit, she's trying to convince everyone that she's the fourth cat because she wants her to be included.
That is so fucking okay. That is A, hilarious and stupid, but also B, super in line with exactly what her character would do, though.
Like, but I love that. But the whole fourth cat thing was stupid as hell, and I actually would have been okay with it if it wasn't who it ended up being.
Okay, so I know who it ended up being, and I know the fourth cat thing. I have not read that, obviously, but I mean, it's been out forever.
Okay, so you do know?
How did they bring this up?
Okay, so at the end of Sign of the Moon, Jay Feather goes to the tribe, and the tribe gives him the prophecy that they need to find the fourth cat of the prophecy. And then Jay Feather's super salty and doesn't do anything about it for another book and a half.
Oh, fuck me. That's the worst, because he was so proactive so far. He's been, like, really proactive, even though he bitches a lot. He's, like, the only hero who actually does anything about anything in these books.
Yes, and then you get to the Darkest Hour, and it's about halfway through, and halfway through Darkest Hour, Starkling keeps coming to Jay Feather and bitching about him not finding the fourth cat. And then, and they do this constantly, over and over and over again. And then finally, they're like, da-da-da-da, some plot point happens, oh my god, Firestar's the fourth cat. And then they tell Firestar, and he's like, cool. And then the battle happens, and
that's... Oh, no.
Why did it have to be? Okay.
I mean, the thing is they keep telling, Starkling tells them to find the fourth cat because it's so important that they find him. But they act as if not knowing that Firestar is the fourth cat would somehow change the outcome.
They already have Firestar the whole goddamn time.
Right, so it doesn't make a difference who the fourth cat is.
I think that the fourth cat should have been Breezepelt, and I don't think he should have had any powers, although maybe his power was being a dick or something. But I think the fourth cat should have been Breezepelt, but even though he's the fourth cat, they still can't convince him to be a good guy. That's what I would have done with it.
That would have been interesting.
That would have been interesting, yeah.
He's just by nature the biggest, the most hateable jerk in all of Warrior Cats, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And I feel like if he's the fourth cat and they're given an impossible challenge, if maybe they can't rise up to the goddamn prophecy because he's so much of a dick, you know? I think that would have been interesting instead of just, oh, it's Firestar, the guy who's been here the entire time. We're just trying to please the Gen 1ers that aren't even reading this series anymore.
Right. Well, see, yeah, and if they had gone that direction, and then it would have been he's the fourth cat, we couldn't get him, and then we still beat the Dark Forest. They had to somehow, the prophecy was ruined, they weren't able to get the fourth cat, but they were still able to succeed. That would at least give the story a bit more stakes.
In the end, they had these powers, but what they really needed to do was something else. That would be interesting. But I don't know. In the end, they had these powers, but the powers didn't really do much. They kind of aided in the battle a little bit, and then they were ripped away from their corpses and traumatized them for fucking life, or at least Dovewing.
I think it's so shitty that they're I understand Lion Blaze getting his powers taken away, but both Jay Feather and Dovewing got really fucked over by that.
That is something
They
that I
both
didn't
got literally
know.
blinded.
I did not know that that was a fucking thing.
Yeah.
Holy shit, that is so fucking stupid.
But it's also why Doubling Silence is my favorite book in The Omen of the Stars.
That's a really great name now that I realize that this is something that happened. That's a great name for it.
It kind of continues into Bramble Star's Storm, but she's not the main character, so it's not as impactful.
Well, that's fair.
I mean, you can even tell how... I started reading Bramble Star Storm, by the way.
Did you read Doubling Silence?
Not yet. I'm gonna read that next. But Bramble Star Storm is... It's reminding me a lot of Omen of the Stars, because so far it starts off really slow. And
not much happens. It's mostly just a story about romance. Go on.
Wow. Reading it though is like reminding me how much I did not like reading from Brambleclaw's point of view in New Prophecy.
He's got a weird POV. I like him as a character. I wish he didn't have the POV ever, because he's fucking annoying to read as. I'm fine with him as a character, just don't get him too close to the plot, because it just starts to fall. He's like a shitty actor who's really good at background parts, but should never be the main guy. And then you see him in some sort of B movie, and he's the main actor, and she's like, man, this guy can't fucking act. He's great at everything else, but like, why is he the main dude of this?
Right. I just like, I'm only a few chapters in, and every single interaction he has with Squirrelflight, I want to like he doesn't treat Squirrelflight like a human being.
He doesn't, and for all of Omen of the Stars, he doesn't either. And I hate him. Like, I just hate him. And then he's like really, really dumb in the first couple books of A Vision of Shadows too. So it just it just increases my hate. He's like a more offensive Lion Blaze to me.
Right. It's like he's better than Lion Blaze because he has more character, but in so many ways he's worse because he's way more just like, oh my god, dude, please, come on.
They're both the most boring cats to read from.
Yeah.
Although I can't talk for New Prophecy because I don't remember.
New Prophecy, I like Brambleclaw mostly based off of him in the end of the original series, and a little bit from like not his perspective, but people around him's perspective, and also like his interactions with Hawkfrost later on. Even though it's stupid, I'm glad they did something there that was a little bit different. They try to do something, but he fucking sucks to read from because he's so whiny and stupid and fucking blind to everything around him, more so than Firestar, which is saying something. God, it's fucking infuriating. The more you're talking about this, the more I realize that like I like Brambleclaw as long as he's not anywhere near anything important.
Pretty much.
Fuck.
Like, I like the idea of him a lot too. It's just like the idea of, you know, a guy who can't get out of his father's shadow. Yeah. You know, he's really insecure about it and that kind of stuff. But man, there's so many other things about him that's just painful to read. Especially with the whole Squirrelflight thing, because he's like every time he interacts with her, he's either angry with her about something or he's completely like just completely inconsiderate about her feelings or something.
I don't
just totally taking her for granted.
I don't go to romances at all because there's not a single scene that I can remember where it's like, okay, this romance makes sense in like the New Prophecy, because he's always, well, I shouldn't say always, because there are scenes where they make him like say, oh, she's so pretty, she's so wonderful, she's so strong, and then like he'll just go back saying like, she's so strong-headed and such a bitch, and it's like, where's like the romance, where's the affection, where is this relationship? We don't see it ever. Where is it?
There are so many like there are so many situations where the cats, it's supposed to be like some kind of romantic situation or whatever the hell, but the cats don't really get along in personality. They just, like, you know, one cat thinks the other cat is really hot. And
Yeah.
I mean, I guess that's it's kind of a realistic way to portray some of these relationships, because I mean, I guess, like, I'd see that kind of thing all the time, but it doesn't make for a romance you want to read about.
Yeah.
No. Yeah, a lot of the romances are written really poorly. I'm hoping that because, like, these new team of people are writing it, that Tiger Heart's shadow won't be awful, but
I didn't mind Pebbleshine and Hawkwing. I guess
no, like, they were okay.
I guess because Hawkwing's perspective isn't really one that I'm used to. I think that he's very unique. I mean, in that he's a
Yeah.
big dumb, but I like big dumb in other like media. So I'm fond of him as a character, and I think that even though it was kind of handled similarly, his interest in Pebbleshine, I feel like it was unique enough that I wasn't like, oh my god, this again.
Right. Well, and I think that with their relationship, it was like enough time was passing in the book itself that I could understand Hawkwing's transitions
Mm-hmm.
from, like, feeling like, oh, you know, I hate her because my brother died because I saved her instead of my brother, and then to, oh, actually, she's really cute. To,
Well, it wasn't.
oh
really,
no, my waifu.
It wasn't really him having a problem with her personality like it was with Bramblestar and Squirrelflight. It was more so him having a problem with, like, something completely
Himself.
stupid and unreasonable that he got over.
Right. Yeah, and with Bramblestar and Squirrelflight, it's just like they have problems with each other because they don't like each other. They, in fact, hate each other's guts more often than not.
Yeah.
And the other thing about Brambleclaw that I don't like with his relationship with Squirrelflight is that he's pretty much always wrong. Like,
Oh, yeah.
his perspective within the series about almost everything that he butts heads with Squirrelflight on is wrong.
Oh my gosh. Okay, this is a small spoiler for Shattered Sky. It's barely a spoiler, and Tom, you've probably already gotten to this point because
Yep.
it
I guarantee
happened.
I'm on my page like 150.
Okay, yeah, I'm pretty sure this happened. Maybe it hasn't, but either way, there's a moment in that book where Rowan Star and Bramble Star are arguing with each other, and Tawny Pelt interrupts them, and they both just, like, fucking snap at her, and they're like, fucking stay out of leader business. And I was like, Tawny Pelt, you better be giving Rowan Star all kinds of shit for that, because holy crap.
Yeah.
He's not sleeping in her den for like 2 moons.
I mean,
yeah, no kidding.
She's bringing up a fight between her brother and her husband, and they're like,
Uh-huh.
stay out of it. And she should just go, like, just double fist at the same time, punched both of them in the face. Like, that would have been good.
A lot of people like Tawny Pelt, but because it's been so long for me, like with the second series and all, I don't remember her personality for the life of me.
Her personality from the first arc is, like, not there. Like, she doesn't have one. Other than the fact that she
her
feels, like,
personality for the first
distrustful.
arc is a steaming little pile of traitor who doesn't have any common sense. But
Yeah, she feels distrustful, so she's like, let's go with Murder Man. That's fine.
It'll all be good.
paying so much attention to the one that kind of looks like him, don't even look at the one that kind of thinks like him.
Yeah. That's yeah, well.
But, you know, Tiger Star only likes his male children that are clones with him in the first place, so... Didn't see him in any Hollyleaf streams.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Although Tiger Star did try to talk to Jay Feather at some point, didn't he?
Jay Feather's a boy.
Oh, true. True.
God damn it. Fucking Moon, you son of a bitch. Make it. Oh, God. I almost just spit water all over my fucking keyboard. Oh, fuck.
I'm not having this male favoritism BS with Tiger Star.
No, I mean, you're right. Just the way you said it. Like, I mean, you're not wrong. This man. I mean,
Man, and yeah, there really needs to be a like if we get any more Tiger Star clones, they better for fuck's sake finally have one that's a girl that looks like Tiger Star.
Ugh. I don't even think there was a possibility that we had a female Tiger Star clone, because Dandelion Kit, like, you know for sure that was like a yellow or a white kitten, you know?
Right.
And I mean, Juniper Kit was probably the Tiger Star clone, because you know there was one.
Probably the ungodly child.
I don't get why Warriors is still going with the same like thing, which maybe it's biology, but they've never stuck to biology this strictly before. Like, why are there no big females? Like, every cat that is quote unquote big, like big framed and super tough, is a male, and like every female is like smaller than them by like a lot. Like Squirrel Fight is described as being small framed. Fucking
Spotlight's also described as having short little legs.
yeah, like what the fuck? Hollyleaf is described as being like the smallest, like even smaller than Jay Feather. Like what?
Is she?
What? Why?
What especially doesn't make sense is Sandstorm is like, I'm pretty sure she's pretty freaking big and tough.
She's the same. She's got to be at least the same size as Firestar. If
Yeah,
not, I would say probably bigger.
Powerful cats had Pretty Little Princess 1 and Cute Little Princess 2. And just both of them are dainty and light and small.
Yeah, the only big the only big like female warriors we have are like Maple Shade and Yellow Fang.
Maple Shade's fucking awesome.
I think we can imply that Sparkmelt is kind of big and tough.
Is she big though? Because I know
Probably.
well, fortunately here they actually kind of did break some. Alderpaw is supposed to be pretty small, I believe, actually. But then again, this is one of those things where it's like
at least like Firestar.
This is again one of those things where like the small characters, if they're male, you're a medicine cat. You're not a warrior. You're not fit to be a warrior. Like Cloudtail's a big ass dude. Brightheart,
Mm-hmm.
I think she's kind of regular size. But like all these cats that are like regular size or like kind of a little bit big are from the original arc. Anything that's been born since then has subscribed to this like notion. And it's fucking infuriating how stupid it is.
I like to imagine that
Needletail
Needletail. Yeah, I like to imagine that Needletail and Violet Paw are both pretty beefy as well.
I could see it.
We know that Violet Paw's. We know that they're both malnourished recently.
Yeah. Well,
yeah.
I mean, well.
But
and
still
as we know,
frames.
if you were skinny one time, you're skinny forever.
Our friend the Warrior Cat Wiki.
Yeah.
Needletail has a long body. So at least she's long like a snake or a long cat. Or a snake.
Right.
or a snake, yeah. Snake works. Oh man. This is good. This is a good stream.
The Warriors Wiki though, man.
It's fine.
No,
it's
just like
I believe it is still currently losing to poisonous jellyfish hugs. And it's currently tied with food poisoning, actually. So go food poisoning. You're doing it.
What? Doing it.
I put a poll on Twitter to see what people like more, the Warriors Wiki or 3 Awful Things, and it's currently losing very dramatically.
I feel like the Warrior Cats Wiki needs to have either more standards or less standards. It's got like the perfect amount of terrible standards. Like it doesn't really give a crap what those cat portraits look like, obviously. But
Right.
it also doesn't give a crap about what ends up in the cat descriptions. Because like I was saying to you in Twitter chat earlier, they decide to include very circumstantial things. I also had a whole big rant on this in my now deleted video, but they include, for example, the fact that Blue Star is silver in the moonlight when she's silver in the moonlight.
All the time.
They include it in the general description. Or that she's pale in the moonlight. Because it's always about the moonlight with Blue Star, obviously. Especially in like Fire and Ice or whatever the heck book it was that was constantly comparing her to Silverstream, because that was the fucking point. They were trying to make her out to be like Silverstream, so you would get confused as to who the dream was about, and all sorts of other silly things. That's like my least favorite book, I'm pretty sure. Hinting at Blue Star having some kittens is my least favorite book, because it's a book about hinting that Blue Star has some kittens.
Yeah, I didn't realize how obvious it was until I reread the series last year, and I was like, holy shit.
It's painful. But like I also think that it has too many standards in that they don't change their formula at all. They've had the same like layout for their pages since 2013, 2010, somewhere around there. And they don't they don't even think to include, new sections like every other wiki. Every other wiki has like helpful little like bits of personality sections or relationship sections, which are like sometimes they can be subjective and fought over, and I understand that, but Warrior Cats is goddamn straightforward about that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So listing a cat's interactions with another cat is not only helpful to people who want to use the wiki as a resource, but it's also helpful for the fact that our authors use the wiki. And that's the big thing that bothers me the most about it, is that the authors are using a source that needs help. Like, it needs to fix itself, and it's not going to, ever.
Yeah, like I remember there's been times like in the map community where it's like I'm needing to do a map part for a character that I don't remember all that well, or I just haven't read about at all. Like I've done map parts about Mapleshade where I haven't read Mapleshade's Vengeance. So I went to the wiki and I read the synopsis, and goddamn, if they don't try to sap every single bit of personality that can be gleaned from the books in their synopsises, because like I read it and I was like, okay, I still don't feel like I know who this character is.
Yeah, you only know what she's done, but you don't know what she's thinking. You don't know what she's about. You don't know who she is. And it even, like, it makes... I feel like if you rely too much on the wiki, you start to get, like, a worse and worse impression of the series in general, because you start to forget that these characters actually do have uniqueness about them. Because you're reading a source that only tells their actions. And it also makes it seem like none of them have any friends.
Yeah, like they all just do things separate from other cats.
Yeah. I think that even if they don't include a personality section, well, actually, no, that's dumb, because including a personality section would take just as much critical thinking as fixing their as much critical thinking as fixing their description sections, which include descriptions from when the cat was a kit, descriptions from when the cat was in a strange environment, sometimes descriptions from when the cat was starving to death, things like that.
Yeah.
And like, so it just takes a little bit of common sense and context to take into account things like personality and relationships.
Yeah, exactly. And yet again, it'd be so helpful considering, Warriors. We know the authors use the wiki, and we know that there's lots of people in the map community who've not read these books who use the wiki to do their parts.
And not only that, sometimes to compose their maps and design their characters, because a lot of people, and it's not a bad thing, but a lot of people are only in this community for the art.
Right. Which, yeah, and that's cool, but if you're going to bother to be doing the thing, you may as well be doing it well.
Absolutely. Get out of here, Ocelot.
You don't need to see this.
But I've never actually met or spoken to anyone who frequently edits the Warrior Cats wiki.
No, I don't. Like, does anyone in our map community work on it?
I think it's the roleplay community.
Oh, well, that explains a lot.
Like, we're kind of separate. I was involved with the Warrior Cats roleplay community a lot when I was like younger. I would at least look at Warrior's Wish and other places like that. But it is a very, very separate community from this, which is like an art community. And they have different priorities as well.
Like cat genetics.
Yeah.
And holy names.
That name shit, like, oh, this name means this, and this name means this. That fucking shit is so... I cannot even, like, begin to fathom where they get this stuff from.
Moon and Sun are sacred names that can't be used, even though literally handfuls of characters have had those names.
Sometimes I feel like they're trying to work against other people's creativity. Like, it's always like a dictation thing, you know what I mean? Like, no, this name means this. You can't have this on this character because it just doesn't make sense for their personality. And it's like, I'm going to give them the suffix whisker all I want to without them being good at tracking and smelling. But it's not... It shouldn't work that way in the first place because it's limiting. We do not have rules within the series telling us these things. So to make these things up and to impose them on other people it's rude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, if you have an RP group where those are rules, then yes, you need to follow those rules.
That's fine.
Like, and that's like what it works for the universe.
Yeah.
But if it's just about warriors in general, and like the RP is like pretty open otherwise, then having the rules is just being a dick to people because you don't like their ideas or something.
Like, Selena earlier posted about the this new roleplay rule on the Warrior Cats Amino, where you're not allowed to have roleplays about cats with powers or something. And that's like that's furthering my point that this, like, that side of the community, like the roleplay side, the kind of Tumblr side, like the side that usually restrains itself to writing sites and fan fiction and pro boards and role plays and things like that, is a lot more strict than we are. And I feel like there's a lot less involvement in actually reading the books and more involvement in kind of this community that's grown from what initially was the books, but mostly just the first series, and it's a little bit disconnected, and they've made all of their own rules, and they can't really tell what was originally Warrior Cats and what wasn't anymore. It's just...
Well, yeah, it's just kind of like, it's roles that they wish were in Warriors, but they're not.
Yeah. And that counts too towards the cat genetics and the realistic pelt colors and stuff like that. I'm always struggling myself back when I see people talking like this, and I'm always seeing people talking like this. Like, I don't know where I keep going with this stuff, but if cats were realistically colored,
It would be so boring.
Cinder Pelt, Blue Star, all three of those cats would look exactly the same.
Yes.
Because in cat genetics, and I'm pretty sure this is true, correct me if I'm wrong, but in cat genetics, there's only one shade of gray.
Well, yeah. There's
Pretty
gray and
much.
then there's like the blue.
In warrior cats, we don't only have the gradient, we have like from the pale gray to the light gray to the gray to the dark gray. We also have blue gray and a couple others that would just be gray.
Yeah.
In reality. And to say that warrior cats should be realistic is narrowing down our character design options as well.
It's something where it's like, if there was a handful of cats in this series and you wanted to make them like genetically accurate, cool. But I think people have counted it now. There's literally over 1,000 characters in this series. Having them be genetically accurate is insane, because it would just be an absolute mess, like from a visual standpoint. It's such a bad idea, and that's why I'm like so against the idea of the Warriors movie being like realistic Jungle Book like graphics, is because
I am
it'd just
not
be so
going
muddled.
to tell Dust Pelt and Longtail apart if they do that. I'm just not.
Right. Yeah, or like, literally in the first arc, how many fucking gray cats are there?
A lot.
Dark Stripe, Gray Stripe, Blue Star, Cinderpelt, Yellowfang, and those are main characters. And then, like, every cat in River Clan is gray.
Yeah, like half of them are.
With a few exceptions.
I mean, we don't really know how the art style is going to go. A lot of people are kind of thinking that it's going to be looking like the new book covers, but I don't think that, at least not the Chinese fan base, looks at the cats in the same way we do.
Mm-hmm.
I think that if there's going to be any fandom influence on what these cats look like, it's going to be from there, and assuming it's that much of a Chinese project, and not us. So
I think that's probably for the better.
That influence specifically. I mean, if it was based on us, I would worry
a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess because so many people, I feel like they miss the point sometimes, and I don't mind, because it's an artistic community. It's a bit about the designs you're making. It's about what you're putting out and what you're creating and all that. But I feel like if we're going by book accuracy and relevance and what makes the most sense and what works best within the story, you can't be having, say, Brown Firestar. Or
right.
You can't be having, what's his name? He's in the first arc. I just ruined my entire conversation by forgetting a cat's name.
That's fine.
Okay, regardless, I'm gonna seem stupid, but you can't take some of these characters and change them into something that no longer works for the plot.
Yeah, agreed. Because if you have something like Brown Firestar, then it's like, well, okay, why is he named Firestar?
And
why did any cat look at this cat and go, yes, this reminds me of fire?
I know they say like dark ginger sometimes, but literally just like read it like The
I get
name explains how they fucking look. Seriously.
I will fight to my death about dark ginger actually being ginger.
God, it's so fucking.
But
Yeah.
but like, the thing is that you are. It is specifically set up, and if you look at the cats in ThunderClan and what colors they are, and the cats in every clan and what colors they are, every cat that we're introduced to, none of them are just a ginger tabby. Because Firestar is meant to stand out.
Yeah.
Later on, we're introduced to Gorsepaw, who is also a ginger tabby, and something terrible happens to him specifically.
Yeah,
Like,
and it's because he looks like Firestar.
it's because he looks like Firestar.
Yeah.
Like, he is just, in context, absolutely supposed to be a ginger cat.
Because it's unique. It's supposed to make him stand out.
And the entire world is built around him standing out. And a lot of people are like, well, why would he be so special if he was orange? And the answer is because there aren't any other orange cats in the clan at the time.
Right.
There aren't any other orange cats around at the time. And I guess it's unrealistic for like a feral cat colony to not have oranges, but that's how it was. That's how it was set up, because he is supposed to be the orange cat.
Right, just because it doesn't make sense biologically means that you should throw that out so that it's like you're fixing a problem by making another. It's like you fix something for a biological reason, but now narratively that makes no sense.
There are so many headcanons that want to make him like a rare breed so he stands out, but there's never any headcanons that want to make him a rare breed that's actually orange. That's what drives me up a wall.
Right.
But
But
it's like I can totally get behind pretty much anybody's like headcanons, but when they start saying like, no, this makes more sense than anybody else's design, and I'm just like, oh, okay. Chill.
I
think, like, even when it comes to designs, I like the ones that go the craziest, the best.
Yeah, like I even love people who do like they take the warrior designs and they make them more literal. Like Cloudtail literally has a cloud for a tail or something like that. I'm just like,
yeah.
I like that.
Like the SSS Warriors designs, they're weird, but like who's who. And
yeah,
that's
they totally fit.
That's the thing that's
I
more
like
important, I feel.
Power cats from SSS Warrior Cats.
I think it's
What's
weird.
that?
I like them. I like their superpowers. I like crazy wind powers coming out of like white from and all that, because it gives them something that's unique. It makes it so they're not just adapting into the wild like so many have before them. And
yeah.
Tribble
no, honestly,
actually finished Into the Wild. You guys remember that? Tribble of Doom.
I do remember Tribble of Doom.
Into the Wild, and she does not get nearly enough credit for that.
Yeah, she did it
all. Do all of Fire and Ice?
She got pretty far. I don't know if she finished it though.
I don't know about Fire and Ice, but I know that she finished all of Into the Wild, and that's just crazy good. And then she had like 20 episodes of her own original series after that. She was just so diligent. I have so much respect for Tribble of Doom.
Yeah, Cow in the Wild's still going on, I think? Maybe?
Yeah. I just don't think that she's had a lot of time to work on it now that she's being an adult.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Something you could probably say for a lot of people in this community right now.
Mm.
I haven't been paying attention to the background drawing in a while, and now I'm just like, wow, this has really gone really far, really fast. Maybe not that fast, but you know.
Yeah, I'm pretty slow at background painting, which is why I don't like doing it. Plus, then I get to talking, and so I immediately like drop everything I'm doing, and I'm like talking with my hands. And I'm like, no, listen.
So people have some dissenting views and dislike SSS Warrior Cats in chat. That's fine. It's not for everybody.
Yeah, I mean, they took a risk when they decided to do that, and for me, I think the risk paid off. But obviously, when you're adapting a book, you've got to make those decisions.
I'm I'm adapting Starkit's prophecy as faithfully as I can.
Well,
That's
I mean,
not really the same thing, and because of the way it's written, you can pretty much do. Pepper, what are you doing? Because of the way it's written, you can pretty much do whatever with it, anyways. It gives you the creative freedom of basically everything.
yeah, it's unrequited silliness, so you can just kind of just do whatever you feel like you want to do.
There's a lot of interpretation to be done on what words they're actually saying as well.
By the way, I am so looking forward to the only swear in that entire thing, but you will have to animate at the end.
I know.
Except Jesus, motherfucker! Can you please put in the forward where she goes to the 10 Commandments and in number 11 is no being gay with 1,000,000 exclamation parts?
No being gay.
You want the full art of that? I could probably open it.
God, that whole fanfic, if people haven't actually read it, I mean, obviously go watch Moons because it's fucking amazing to see like people say the shitty grammar out loud. But man, that fanfic's got some real unbelievable stuff. Like the whole side plot of the writer being super against gay people and figuring out that she's a lesbian by the end of it. It's like, what am I reading?
The author who I'm convinced was a troll, obviously.
Well, I mean, yeah.
Was so good at just pushing buttons, like so good at knowing exactly what to do to make what was going on absolutely terrible, like making Jay Feather the dad, or Holly Leaf the villain, or
like it's a masterwork of stupid.
It reminds me of the really awful Half-Life fanfics that were animated in Gmod a while ago. You know, they just did everything so wrong in the best ways possible. It's not easy to write a trollfic that's good. A lot of people try and fail horribly. You really just got to be so careful with it, and it's kind of disturbing that this is almost like Art Nouveau.
oh, these cats can't decide if they want to be in my room or not.
Punch the cat.
Come on.
Instead of punching it, you get petted with your fists.
Also,
very loud.
Alright, so Starkit 5 was the one with the 10 Commandments, wasn't it?
I think it was. I only remember is number 11 is no being gay with 1,000,000 exclamation points, and it made me fucking laugh so hard.
Let me see. Shut up.
Although, I mean, to be fair, you already covered. It was a noisy boy. You already covered like the amazing I'm a shapeshitter scene, so.
Oh gosh.
Let's see here.
I die.
Okay. Oh,
What?
sorry. Those are the flash noises.
Okay.
One sec. Where's 11? Oh, this is before I put the words on, so I can't really show you like the full art with the words on it, just the image.
Yeah.
I hate Flash. Why do I use it?
Because it's the program you know.
Yes. That's exactly why. I'm so bad at learning new things.
You gotta become a program guru like me. Where you literally know and use every single program under the goddamn sun. And you're like, why do I do this to myself?
Because you're a professional. And that's what professionals do. They make themselves hate themselves.
Because if I had to spend thousands of dollars, tens of thousands of dollars on my art degree, I'm gonna fucking sure use all my shitty art knowledge I learned at school.
Oh. Okay, this is a... Well, I saw this comment in the chat and I just gotta read it. This is on all caps, so imagine I'm shouting. Who else thinks Puddle Shine is aesthetically pleasing?
I agree with that.
Interesting word choice.
I
but
like
that's fine.
Puddle Shine.
Puddle Shine's fine. Rip. Eventually. Oh, Billy Storm. I fucking forgot about Billy Storm.
Billy Storm. Man, Hawkwing's Journey was a good book.
I still gotta go through it, and I still gotta go through fucking Brambleclaw's Fest, whatever.
Brambleclaw Cuck Scrollflight. I think that's what it's called.
Okay,
that book.
that sounds good. Wait, does he literally cuck Scrollflight when? Write this down.
A little bit.
A little bit.
Okay. No, I refuse to let you get away with that. You cannot cuck somebody a little bit, alright? You're either fucking
My
not
name
or you're
is
not.
Scrollflight, and I'm a... Shut up, I'm gonna fuck your wife.
It's okay. Oh, man. Oh god, good. And now people are just talking about Billy Storm in chat. Good. It's a good thing this isn't being recorded for future posterity. And people,
right.
Yeah, that's probably fine.
So far, I haven't said anything I regret.
Yeah.
We could change that really quick.
Yeah, let's not.
Okay, fair enough.
I'm gonna post in chat the best I could do in 30 seconds in getting this image.
Oh god.
I'm not good at even using the program, I know. There are her cut off legs and some of the lines I used to sketch her.
That's fine. This is so good.
This is beautiful.
I'm saving this.
Like really, really poorly aligned star that I clearly drew in like 13 seconds, like everything else in Star.
That's the best part. I think the best part is that it's done in a also irreverently semi-shitty way.
Nothing took very long about Starkid's prophecy, and you can tell by everything about this screenshot, actually.
Just make this like the new poster for.
I feel like you have a timer for like each frame, and it's like if I spend more than 14 seconds on this frame, I've spent too long. I need to go to the next one.
Although Starkid's prophecy ends up taking more time, like I animate more stuff than in my shit posts, which are basically just heads that have moving mouths.
Yeah, that's fair.
I really do just shit these things out as fast as I can. I don't have very much time on my hands to work on stuff or make pretty animations or anything like that, so I just make.
Oh, bless you for it though. You get
So glad.
so many brilliant ideas out so quickly.
You're doing the Lord's work.
I wrote all of my. One day at work, no dogs were coming in, and I wrote every single one of my all of the what was the second book? Thunder and Shadow. All of my Thunder and Shadow videos got written just that one day, and then I just slowly made them.
Gosh, stop.
But yeah,
Stop,
there's no Bengay. You can make it your screensaver, Tom, so that you can tell yourself all the time that Starkid doesn't approve of your relationships.
That's fine. I've come to accept this life. I just can't help that I want to fuck Ashfur, man.
Oh man.
You tried getting over it, but it just he came back to haunt you.
Look, I'm just gonna put this out there in the thought space. I want to put this out in the public conscious. I'd fuck Cinderpelt. Just gonna say it. I'm not ashamed of it.
No.
I'm not ashamed of it. What?
No.
What do you mean no? What do you mean no?
She's
Okay.
Cinderpelt.
Yeah, go fuck yourself if you don't think that she didn't want some good dick. All right.
Tom.
Confirmed, man.
No.
I'm just not even gonna weigh in on this.
Zoe Hoshi is in the chat, and you said that.
Oh God, Zoe, no, don't do it. Please.
Anyways, I hope you enjoy your Discord chat later.
God damn it! Fuck. Oh.
To yourself.
I fucked up.
Yeah, you did this to yourself.
Oh no. Oh shit. I didn't even fucking think of that. Is it too late to go back?
No.
Nope.
Yes, actually.
Wait, yeah.
Okay. Alright. Well,
SOL.
Right. God damn, she just said in Discord chat, don't test me. Fuck. Really, please.
I think this is just about done. Oh my god.
Yeah, we'll end it on that fucking note.
Gotta do some little bit of multiply shading here.
That's cheating. You're not allowed to use any tools or any filters. You just have to pick every color by yourself right now.
Fuck that. Multiply tool is my friend.
And if you use references, you're also cheating.
Right.
Everything has to be right from your heart, or it's unoriginal and it's bad and it's untalented.
I'm just a hack then.
Just total hack.
I'm a dirty hack.
And if it takes you more than 13 seconds to draw the frame, that's also...
Basically, literally anything except for Starkid's Prophecy is not art.
Yeah. Well, Starkid's Prophecy isn't art either because it's not original. It's based on a story.
Oh, true. We're all just hacks.
Mm-hmm. So apparently lately someone's been claiming to be me on Animal Jam.
What the fuck? Oh no.
So I get a couple messages every so often about how they saw me on Animal Jam.
Uh-oh.
And I have to tell them, so I don't have an Animal Jam because I'm 24 years old. And they just keep coming. And apparently at some point they brought it up that, hey, Moonkitti doesn't have an Animal Jam to the person who said they were me on Animal Jam. And the person responded to them with, oh, I just say that for my reputation, but I actually play all the time.
Oh, okay.
They came back to me with that. And I was like, oh my, they're really trying.
They're trying so
Just like
hard.
props to them for trying that hard, I guess. Oh my
I mean,
gosh.
they're putting in the effort. I mean, you know.
Oh. I mean, I guess it's kind of a lie because when Animal Jam was new, me and my friends, like, we would do things like go on kids' games and stuff like that and try them out and goof around when we were younger. And
Isn't it okay? I've never been on it. Isn't it like essentially like a furry Club Penguin?
yeah, it's
It's
a 2D
like-
chat room about
Yeah.
avatar customization, I think.
It's like Habbo Hotel
Okay.
mixed with fucking Neopets mixed with Transform Ice. But
I've
it's
never been on any of those
It's hard
sites.
for me to say it's mixed with Transform Ice on anything.
yeah, actually Transform Ice actually has like a game to it, so
Yeah.
that's fair.
But there was something that was funny about it when me and my friends tried it, and that was that it had this language filter where you weren't allowed to say any words. So we would try as hard as we could with the accepted words to say the worst things possible, because I didn't have that much morality back then, and I remember very specifically that there was like a club that we wandered into as animals, and it was playing this loop track which we called kindergarten dubstep. And so for like years and years and years after messing around on Club Animal Jam for like an hour or two, we would always reference kindergarten dubstep.
Good. Oh my gosh, that's fucking good. Man, I think I don't think I've even visited the web page for one of those websites or one of those games since like 2005. And even then, I don't know why I was on the web page because I had no interest in it. So does Transformers still a thing?
Yeah. Sometimes I go on and realize that I have tons and tons of referral cheese because of my videos.
Yeah, fair enough.
I was really into it for a little while, but it was also because I was depressed and didn't have an outlet for anything.
I mean, fair enough.
Yeah, that's fair.
I would just like get up in the morning and play Transform Ice all day.
I mean, it's better than like shooting up, I guess.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
You said it so lethargically. Well, yeah, I guess so.
Okay. At least it's out of the way. Background is done. This is going to be my new background for Simmy Speaks.
I think you need to draw 10,000 more individual leaves.
No, thank you.
You sure?
I think I'm done.
You sure?
Like, this is the most complicated background I want to draw for the next.
I mean, Moon is the art sage right now. I think I listened to her.
I see. I haven't drawn a leaf in like months. You should listen.
God, I remember back in the day when I used to try to draw like every single leaf on a tree in a background. Now I'm just like, I don't got time for that shit.
I mean, to be fair, your audience isn't gonna care either way, you know. So.
Well, I don't care.
I mean, well, I mean, stuff in the foreground, obviously, but in the background, like, who fucking gives a shit about that stuff?
Yeah.
Once you make an open world game, then, you know.
Oh.
This was it was good, and then I made a terrible mistake, and now I'm going to go think about
Regret
what
it
I've
for the
done.
rest of your life.
You're
Well-
definitely gonna regret it in like probably about half an hour or 2 hours.
God damn. Well, that's fine. I'm gonna have to drink a lot, and then I'll be fine. And that makes all the pain go away, kids. Pro tip, listen to Tom. Alright, I'm gonna leave now.
Good night forever.
Man,
Good night, sweet prince.
well,
I hope you're happy now that you're choosing this.
I was just about to do that too. I was like, I hope you're happy. I hope you're happy now.
I'm so not happy. I wanna cry. I want to die. Moon, fight me. Come fight me.
Cinder Pelton, you are going to defy gravity.
God damn it! Son of a bitch, you fucking piece of shit.
I don't know.
Oh fuck.
Fuck, buddy.
No.
Oh no. No. Now, let's
There's a
get
limit
down.
to how many things we can say.
Well, let's get down to brass tacks. If you had to fuck a warrior.
I know.
We
Yeah,
all know
no.
it'd be Brambleclaw. Well, fair enough.
I don't even know how scroll flight. I was about to say something really inappropriate. I think.
That's fine.
I mean, I assume that she never found out that she was barren because they never get it on together.
Probably
yeah,
don't.
I mean that. Yeah.
By the way, I flipped to the back of Bramblestar Storm so I could read that manga about Yellowfang telling her that she's barren. That is such fucking bullshit.
Oh, you mean Yellowfang being like, yeah, I tricked you to
Yeah.
ruin your life, and now you're gonna have some babies. It's gonna be great.
What the fuck?
Fucking
And you
Yellowfang
Get
literally
out of this thought free.
Yellowfang literally thinks that Squirrel Flight won't help Leaf Pool. So she takes drastic measures and tells Squirrel Flight that she's barren, so she better take care of Leaf Pool's kids.
Holy shit.
Squirrel Flight was manipulated into manipulating people.
Yes.
And she was also manipulated into breaking up with Ashfur, so, you know, how to blame is she for any of this shit? Ever. At all.
Moral of the story is Squirrel Flight is a blessing, but the people around her are real shitbags.
Man. Even
And
the
she
fucking
never
people
seems like
dead.
a dumbass for it. All like she's being reasonable. She's just being tricked, hardcore.
Right. Well, I mean, she's literally being tricked by people going like, your god has told you that this is your destiny, and she's like, well, okay, I guess I better take responsibility for it. And then they're later like, lol, actually, I just made that up.
You know what? You know who I bet if StarClan told Needletail she was barren, Needletail would be like, okay, bye.
She's probably just gonna start fucking everybody she can see.
Yeah, I was about
Yeah,
to say that. She'd be like, oh, okay, well then maybe I will fuck Alderpaw.
No, not all
No, she definitely would. She definitely would.
No.
No. Don't you even fuck with me right now.
I don't
She
think
absolutely
that,
would.
Okay, I think that like within Thunder and Shadow and within Shattered Sky, Needletail isn't thinking much of Alderpaw.
No, I don't think she thinks of them as a couple at all. I think Alderheart thinks of them as a couple, but
I don't know. I don't know if Alderpaw thinks that they're a couple. I think Alderpaw thinks that they're at least friends, whereas she definitely is just seeing her. She sees him as just somebody that she can use, and like she likes the attention that she gets.
Well, like he's just the father of her daughter and nothing more. But why? Like I don't understand why people still think she might have like some kind of lingering feeling for Alderpaw that may or may not have been hinted at when she's with a sexy pirate.
Yeah,
exactly.
Pirate.
Oh my god.
When
you said that
everything.
When you said that she's into pirates to Selena on Twitter, I blinked for a second and then I was like, oh my god, that's brilliant, man. A++. Alright. Anyway, I think we gotta end the stream here.
Yeah, it's getting off the rails fast.
Okay.
You know what? I'm gonna put it out there. My bad. This one's on me, guys.
Had Tom not been here, there probably wouldn't have been a single mention of cat sex for once.
Well, no, that's not true. You definitely would have mentioned it at least once.
You think so?
You know what?
I
was
really
doing a Q&A. I was doing a Q&A before you guys got here, and I think I probably said something before that. Yeah. I mean, there was a Q&A. How could it be avoided?
Someone implied they were 11 years old earlier. You realize, you guys, you know. I mean, I'm
Hey, they gotta learn eventually, you know.
Here, but SMA PH.
I mean, I definitely heard just as bad, if not worse, when I was 11.
Yeah, that's. By the time you're 11, you know what a dick is. So I mean, why not?
Good night, young viewers. Good night, older viewers. Good night, everyone.
Just Google
Talk to you guys later. No, don't Google it. We condone talking about it. We don't condone Googling it. Because at that point,
Google it.
Google is your parents now. It's gonna have to talk for you.
Shut the fuck up. Oh God. Oh.
Don't listen to me. Let's go to sleep.
Let's go to sleep.
Come on, guys.
Good night, everyone.
Get into my single bed and talk about warrior cats.
There, I stopped the stream.
Okay.
Okay. Giving these poor children nightmares.
I had so many really terrible things to say.
Oh.
I think it's because I'm falling asleep.
Oh wait, I stopped screen share. I didn't stop the broadcast.